Hello everyone, and welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And on this week's episode, we are joined by a very special returning guest, NoOperator. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Of course. And in this week's episode, we are talking about an insane chapter, Hunter x Hunter, chapter 413, Legacy. A lot to talk about this week. Then, of course, we'll be going through our community comments. If you would like to join in the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version on the weekly community post. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you'd like to know when episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. If you're an audio listener, make sure to rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod for podcast-related updates and do some responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. In addition to this, as of this week, we have started a Patreon page. So I'll go in more in depth on that this week since we just started. The primary function of this is to give audio listeners a way to listen to the show without ads, because we realized that there is literally no way to do that until right now. So if you're a YouTube watcher and you still want to support, go ahead. We don't have YouTube channel membership, so I mean you are free to support us on there if you just want to throw us a bone. But really, the only thing you will get out of this Patreon is ad-free audio version. So, thanks guys. Check it out if you want. There's 2 tiers. Very simple. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the episode if you join at the $5 tier. As always, we provide timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments. All right, NoOperator, it has been actually far longer than I thought it was. The Hisoka retrospective was almost a year ago.
That's
oh
so
my
crazy.
God,
That's
what?
crazy how time flies.
Time isn't
That's
real.
insane.
I was looking for it. I kept scrolling through our feed, and it just wasn't showing up. And I was like, when the hell is this showing up? And then, 11 months ago, NoOperator for the Hisoka retrospective. That's crazy. But welcome back. It's been a long time.
It's even funnier to think barely any time in the actual manga itself was passed at all in that time span.
Yep, 3 chapters.
Ridiculous.
Before that, though, we had you on for chapter, let's see, where was that? 406, which was an insane chapter.
That word, it's a word you can never forget, I feel like.
That's right. That was an incredible chapter. So we keep getting you on for bangers because this is another insanely huge one. So since your last appearance, obviously we only had the 3 chapters, but how you been enjoying this batch so far?
Oh, I've been loving it, honestly. I feel like I've definitely said this before to you guys, but the one thing I always love about Togashi is no matter what kind of situation he's in or health scares he's going through or whatever he's going through in his life, the one thing he's never going to compromise on, he might compromise on his art and he might give it all to AI if he can train it, right? But but when it comes to the story, he is not willing to compromise at all. And there's always going to be people that are oh my God, he's introducing all these new things or whatever, and he's only got so much time. It's do as much as you want, Togashi, and cook, because I love it all. I love it all. Give me as much text as I possibly can get.
Yeah, couldn't agree
we got
more.
it this week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, time and time again, we're always just hungry for whatever he wants to feed us, man. I don't even care. He could cut away the most random thing in the world next week, and I would still eat it up happily. I'll take anything.
Could start with Gone chapter, and it's all right.
Yeah, that's what we said last
go.
week. It's just randomly cut to going for no reason. Why not? All right, so as for news, I am happy to report we do have news every single week so far. Togashi has been cooking on Twitter. We have chapter 423 submitted to Shueisha. That is huge. One a week so far for this whole batch. So if he keeps going with that, by the end of this batch, we will have another batch ready, which is beautiful. That's amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah, me and Kate were both talking about this the other day about a possibility of another batch within the same year as this one. If that were to happen, not saying it is going to happen because anything could happen, right? But if that were to happen, this would be the first time since I believe 2016 that we had 2 batches within the same year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Feels like a different world thinking about that. Thinking about 10 years ago, man.
Oh my god,
Wild.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm thinking hopefully like maybe like 6 months or something. Like I imagine there's going to be some kind of delay in between, but like his pace is inspiring, genuinely.
It really is.
Right now.
He's killing it right now. And then in addition to that, we also have 432 character inking completed, and 433 character inking has begun. So
grinding
working,
away at
man.
The batch after the next batch too, still, which is insane to think about. It really puts into perspective just how much work he's putting into these recent chapters now.
Yeah, and I really think he's reached a point in this arc where he's really excited to draw.
That's what it feels
like.
And this chapter definitely I can start to feel why.
Yeah, it really feels like he has like all the ideas in his head. He's like, all right, I'm ready to just unleash like everything now. Like we're going full throttle from here on out in this arc, which is beautiful, I think. But
it is.
It's funny to think that like you can be like so far ahead story wise, and like when you get to a certain number, like he probably is like,
oh yeah,
can't wait for you guys to see this. Like,
yep. That's probably a great feeling. All right, with that out of the way, I think we're ready to go ahead and dive into what will likely be a pretty lengthy discussion about this ridiculous chapter. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, welcome to our discussion on Chapter 413, Loyalty. We are kicking off here with a dialogueless page just showing us the quarters of the King of Kaki, Nasubi, of course, and we see a little freak Nugui here, a butler, who has very strange design.
Why is he
We haven't
so
seen
short?
him in a minute. I don't know, short king.
Yeah.
You ever
gotta love
notice
it.
like it's always these like little accountant type or like assistant type characters in anime that are like these little tiny like little guys, like it's like a trope.
You're right. Yeah, even within this, we have Beans, who is also very short. But yeah, and then we end the page with Nasubi going into that same chamber we saw oh so long ago. Finally touching back on that. So Dylan, let us know what happens in there.
Yeah, so we go to a nice little double page spread here. 30 minutes before special martial law is declared, as they are presumably putting Hulkenberg's body into one of the coffins. And I want to spend a tiny amount of time here on a detail that I noticed, in that obviously we can see that both the 8th, 9th, and 10th prince's coffins are like all filled, like if we're going by numerical order, right? But we also see that Kacho's coffin also has a little like dark spots there to indicate there is a body in there, which I thought was fascinating, considering her real body presumably is on the boat that they tried to escape from, right?
Yeah, the escape ship, yeah.
So how did they obtain that? That was my immediate question whenever I saw that. I just thought it was really interesting.
Well, my thought was that it would have probably been the same whatever Nen beast ghost things that killed her to begin with. It could have brought the body back, but we do also see her body laying dead in that boat at the end of that chapter, and you'd think they would have just moved it immediately, but I don't know. It is interesting. I assume it has to do with something in regards to the whole Nen surrounding the succession contest, but somebody could have also just went out there and got it.
I like that idea. I never even really considered that like all the hands that like basically killed her could have just like, like transported her back to like, Nasubi in some way, like just as like you said, like a condition of the succession or something. Like I would have just assumed that Nasubi just sent out like guards or something to go like take care of the body, because I would imagine the guards could probably leave because they're not bound by like the succession, right? Or maybe
Right.
So like maybe like but like that's actually a really interesting idea if the contest itself just like brought back the corpse.
Yeah, because we do know now, and it's reinforced by this chapter even, that this is actually a proper part of the succession contest. We previously thought this was something that Nasubi was like plotting on his own, but since we now know that this is actually baked into it to begin with, it would make sense for the contest itself to just bring the body to Nasubi.
Yeah, no, really good points all around there. Didn't really consider a lot of that, but Yeah.
Real quick, I just noted too. I didn't know if either of you noticed it. I think this kind of confirms that like the coffins are actually in like numerical order to a degree, right?
Yes.
Because like they put Hulkenberg right between them, so like it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good point.
All right, you can take it away on the next 2 pages, NoOperator. That's a double page spread. I guess it's 2 pages technically. Sorry.
Oh, true. Okay. So we have the head of Hulkenberg, which like I do appreciate that like there is some kind of like they clearly like cleaned him up and everything, right? Like they would like for like a normal like funeral. So like that's something that I saw a lot of people point out is like there is some genuine level of respect despite the fact that the whole family's trying to kill each other. Like they are kind of like being somewhat like careful about these people that are a part of their family. But then we have Nugui or Nugui, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, and Nasubi looking over Hulkenberg's body because they're noticing something weird, and that's that Nugui says the 9th prince's life torch won't light. Unlike the 8th, 10th, and 12th princes, it seems like he's still eligible. And then if the soul is still in a body, it seems like you don't lose eligibility. And Nugui says this might be Nasubi saying he's still fighting, which I do kind of love because like something that I'm wondering about is like it's interesting that like Nugui probably might not know this, but like I feel like Nasubi might not also be surprised about this either because he went through his own succession war, right? Like he might be aware that this is like I've there were people in my like siblings that did the same thing with their guardian spirit beasts. It's interesting.
Yeah, I love that line. I mean, I'm a huge Hulkenberg fan. Just seeing them acknowledge like he's still fighting, man. It's just, I got chills when I read that. Honestly, it's so rad. I love that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's another question to answer. There was some lingering doubts among some people about like if Hulkenberg's eligibility was affected in any way by his actual body dying. But no, he's very much still in the contest, like confirmed, 100%. So
absolutely is.
I do kind of love too how like I feel like this specific part of like dialogue, even though it's so small and just a quick little checkup with like Nasubi and like as you mentioned, Kaige, like the Nen battery like Mac machine and everything like that we haven't seen in a bunch of chapters. Like it's also I think really important because it's like reinforcing like I think the later part of this chapter too, like like your body does not need, that is not a condition of the succession war at all. So I loved how like just small, it's like just Togashi's little writing things that I love, like small little dialogue piece that's like so important for what the rest of the chapter shows. Which then we cut to another part of the small little 30-minute window before martial law is declared, which is Benjamin feeling the rumbling of Hulkenberg's Nen arrow going off, which like is like every single time this man activates his ability, it is single-handedly one of like the most powerful like moments and most impactful pages that you can tell Togashi loves getting into it when he draws Hulkenberg fire in this arrow.
It's so
but
funny.
Benjamin kind of immediately go ahead if you want to say something.
No, I was just gonna say it's so funny because like imagine being in Benjamin's shoes here thinking Hulkenberg is dead, like I don't have to worry about this bullshit anymore, and then you feel the rumbling after that happen. He has to be shitting his pants here to some degree.
That's a shit your pants moment for sure.
Oh my god. I don't even know how I feel. Dude. So true. I didn't even think about it like that. Like the kind of like he's like, all right. Like he's like that meme of like when you wake up when you like Squidward, he sleeps and then he opens his eyes. So like he goes, what's happening? Wasn't this 9th Prince Hulkenberg's ability? No, it's not possible. Only his body died? So his soul is still, and then it cuts right to Balsamico, which I love that he's tied up in the chair. Like the way that like Hulkenberg is like slowly like piecing together his own ability and like finding workaways around it. But also like he even says here, like it's 100% impossible to continue to pretend to be the sergeant and deceive the first prince. If we meet in person, my behavior, mannerisms, and choice of words will betray me. After all, he's my brother. I'd rather test a new hypothesis and learn the laws of my ability. An arrow has has been fired upon him already anyway.
What the hell?
Which is actually okay. That's I also love like getting all of the different translations at this point, because like that's an interesting point of the conversation too. An arrow's already been fired. I love that Hulkenberg's just willing to experiment. Like we know that like if that arrow misses, like that could be, GG. Like that might not be very good for him. So like I love that, like, and like to your point too, like Kaige, when you said like you love that line, like he's still fighting, like it does show like how far Hulkenberg is willing to go to like win at this point. Like
so cool.
Like he went from going to try and kill Nasubi to end the succession war to be like, all right, screw it, I guess I've got to win this, and like has just locked in since.
Absolutely, yeah, it's incredible. And we continue with the arrow being fired to an unknown location.
Another mystery, guys.
Woohoo! Yep, another mystery.
But it's supposedly fired at Benjamin, though, according to him. So we'll see what comes of that, I guess, when it happens.
So we then cut back to Benjamin's quarters as he is talking to Butch. And he says, well, yeah, I guess I'll read his dialogue first. He says, send men to room 1009. Balsa should be there. Everyone around him is a follower of Hulkenberg. Arrest them all. They're persons of interest. And then he's thinking to himself, a body swap ability. That would explain Shikaku's suicide. Vict, too. But first, Balsamico. He's Hulkenberg inside. And now he's using his ability once more. I have to learn the rules of the body swaps or I'll lose track of who's swapping with whom. And then we see Butch just say, yes, sir. But before he heads out, Benjamin coughs. And Butch is just like, Your Highness? And then he goes into the bathroom and just starts coughing. The at first, the dialogue in the top left, I thought he was like trying to say Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like, that's so true.
Look.
Yeah, he's just so pissed off. But no, I think that's just coughing sounds. And then he thinks to himself, nausea, fever, lethargy, and aching of the joints. Is this what I think it is? It can't be. I've been infected. So we have an awesome drawing here of just death looming behind Benjamin. So cool. Love that.
Love this panel so much. It just, I love it. I don't know. It's very simple, but it's very, very effective.
It's awesome.
Togashi gives details to like the most random pages sometimes, but you love it every single time. You're it makes it feel like you feel Benjamin in that moment. It's really immersive.
Yeah, it's also the swirly kind of pattern within Benjamin's like body here in this panel. It's like kind of just like it kind of gives me the feeling of like there's just so much like circling in his head now over this like loom of death.
True. Yeah, it's honestly, it is. I didn't even think about that, but it is a good illustration of just that feeling you get when your mind is so overwhelmed. Like it just feels like the room is spinning. You just can't even focus. That's really effective, actually. Good catch on that, Dylan.
Classic Togashi. He's a master of the craft.
Sure is.
So we go on to the next set of pages here, where Benjamin continues to think to himself. The incubation period between TSK-17 exposure and symptom onset is about 6 hours. Balsamico was still downstairs. It's not possible. It wasn't Hulkenberg. Our TSK-17 is stored in vials that only open with our custom boots. If you remember, that was the virus that Balls loaded into his boot when he was going to kill Hulkenberg himself, basically.
Most intricate assassination plan I've ever seen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
more power to him.
Interesting detail here, though, that I didn't really think about is that it's only able to be opened with those boots. So that is interesting. I thought it was just like a storage thing the entire time.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That's an interesting detail to know.
The aerosol spray guarantees infection when used within 2 meters. With a spray at foot level, considering my height, to ensure infection, I'd have to be sitting down. It must have been at that time, as we see a silhouette from when Benjamin was sitting down quite a few chapters ago. And I believe if you recall that very specific scene, you could guess who this is immediately. That would have infected him. But we'll get there here in a moment. As we continue over to the next page, to where Benjamin is going to check this device, assuming it's in his room or area, under his control. Inputs a code and then kind of unboxes the TSK that he was referring to, in which he sees that there is one missing. So he says they're still here. Balsamilko only took one. So the only one that was taken was the one that Balls took. So he then continues to think to himself, if this TSK-17 hasn't been used, why do I have these symptoms? I just happened to get sick? No, think. If a soldier besides me and Balsamilko brought TSK-17 on board beforehand, how? That is a very interesting question.
Yeah, honestly, like we're going into. I love the way that Benjamin kind of like slowly pieces this together here. Like it reminds everyone like he isn't just like a meathead. He definitely has some intelligence behind him. Like he immediately starts thinking back to like the WMD, the weapons development, research and development place all the way back. I think in Kaken at least, or at least on the Black Whale, wherever the main source of the weapon comes from. They passed it over to a trader. Production reports, inventory control, bag checks, data management. Even with all our security procedures intact, if a sovereign order came from the very top, that means a soldier affiliated with Mother took it and gave it to a traitor. My mother chose my brother over me, which, like, again, I love how he immediately figures out it's his mom, too, like, which has got to sting a little bit. Like, dang,
Una's making
dude,
moves. This is crazy.
Yeah, she's been making a lot of moves lately.
That is like very foreboding for her too. Like it is interesting how many people that like we would have never thought like are actually active participants like in things that are going on that like we just never had any idea. Like I mean, obviously we saw Unma start making her plays earlier in the last batch, but still like it's still crazy to think like how big some people's influence are, especially now that the queens are getting involved. Like, and then we move over because he obviously, Benjamin confronts who it's revealed to be doing the math. You're the only one who could have poisoned me, Fury Kov. You acquired TSK-17 through the first queen and betrayed me in favor of my brother. For what? Money? Power? Tell me what corrupted you before you die. I also love how he's just like, yeah, all right, I'm going to kill you immediately. So, like, just tell me now because you're done.
Yeah.
Fury Kov, dude. What the hell? My mind was
I did not see that coming. Not at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, I do love that, like, he, like, a couple pages ago, he literally used that exact page. Like, it's just, like...
The exact panel. Pretty sure.
And someone pointed it out to me in my audience, is that it's the exact page that comes right before they show Hulkenberg dying from the TSK-17. So like it's the panel of Hulkenberg, and then you turn the page, and it turns right to Benjamin sitting down in that moment with Fury Kov in his room. Like it's almost like it's like wow, like that was right there, and like you can't piece it together until obviously now. But like Togashi's crazy, man.
Little details, dude. Holy.
So Fury Kov immediately hits back, which I would never betray you. Now and forever, I swear loyalty to my country and to you, First Prince Benjamin. However, it was indeed I who deployed TSK-17 to infect you. I will explain the sequence of events that led up to this. And again, like... This shows, too, like, that Benjamin is very smart because, like, if he really was, like, pushed by emotions, he could have just been like, no, I don't believe you. I'm going to kill you right here and would have kept going. Like, the fact that he actually stops and goes, you know what? I will hear you out because, as he says now, like, it's true. You chose a time when you would be the only suspect, so that way no one else could possibly... He basically led Benjamin right to him. Right. But that could just be a part of your strategy. If my distrust deepens even a little, I'll kill you before you finish your sentence. My plan, and Firikov responds with, my plan was to capitalize on your mother, First Queen Unma's plot to secure victory for Prince Hulkenberg, and also use the machinations of my father, Beyond Netero, against him, which is just another huge bomb drop right at the end of that.
My eyes were popping out of my socket just seeing this casually be said here in this dialogue, bro.
I love how it's revealed. He just says it, and now we just have to live with it. It's so crazy.
What the fuck, bro? Yeah, from this set of pages onwards, like, this was just, like, the craziest read of all time to me. Like,
yeah, it just kept.
Everyone
it keeps
was so
ramping
worried
up.
about Babinya, or what's his name? Like, they're like, he's the he's the beyond shot. I mean, he still could be technically, but like I feel like everyone was like, the way that Togashi subverts people's expectations sometimes. Like,
I thought Firikov was just a very loyal soldier to Benjamin, and that's it. Like, no suspicion at all. To me, anyways.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, and like Togashi very seemingly kind of brought attention away from Firikov in that way because of how often we see inside his head and just how loyal he seemed to Benjamin and working only for him. And then to drop this, it's like nobody could have predicted this. There's no way. It's insane. I love it.
Apparently, people thought Firikov was Hisoka. I wasn't aware of that theory beforehand. But before Hisoka actually like revealed himself, like I think last batch, people were assuming that Firikov was Hisoka like disguised with Texture Surprise or something. I'm like, and so I heard someone said that in my comments, and I was like, for people that thought that, like, to then be, I'm like, you were so far off. Yeah, like, not only that, he was actually a beyond a cursed child the whole time.
Could not be further from that theory.
And speaking of, we flip the page and have immediately he just confirms it without a shadow of a doubt. He lifts up the tongue and there's the weird eye thing. All right, now we know. No doubt in it.
Yeah.
And we just kind of see dots coming from Benjamin. I'd be in the same boat, brother. I'm just listening to this point. And Firikov continues and says, this is the curse that activates upon my death. It was planted by Beyond and is nigh impossible to remove. The queen threatened that Beyond could cause my death at any time, and I was left with no choice. What I feared most was not that you could be my target, but that your death by the curse could eradicate your guardian spirit beast's ability. So starting some intrigue on his ability, which, I mean, we've been intrigued about it for a long time, but we're finally getting a little something about it. He says, the only sure way to avoid this was to bounce the curse back. If I die first, the curse reflects back to you, and my guardian spirit beast's ability would make me a god. Well, that's what Benjamin says. Sorry, that's not Firikov. But
just see that too immediately. My mind is just like, what the hell do you mean?
Yeah, like that? What are you talking about, bro?
Comes to that conclusion real quick.
Yeah,
like if you die first, you become a god. Like, what are you talking about right now?
And it's also just the fact that he knows so much about his own guardian spirit beast ability, which is interesting. Not a lot of princes know much about their own ability. So they had to have done some experimentation.
Because even previously, I think one of the last times we saw or heard about it was Balsamico being like, Benjamin doesn't even know it's there. Like, he goes like, we're the only ones that can see it. Right. Which is like interesting.
We're going to find out shortly why he knows so much, or how he's able to know so much about it. But like, it's just like the way he kind of leads up to this reveal is just like really beautifully done, I think. Just like making you ask so many questions in your head as you're reading.
Yeah, so in response to saying that he could become God, Firikov then says, exactly. Sure, man. With your guardian spirit beast ability, a nation of unshakable glory and prosperity will be assured. An unbroken imperial line for all eternity. Wow, guys. All right.
Huge promises here.
I just gotta, the way that you emphasize the exactly, I imagine like people that like aren't like fully locked in and just casually read it, like when Firikov goes exactly, they're like, what? What do you mean exactly? Like, no, explain yourself.
Yeah, for real. He continues and says, the Queen's demand was that I use TSK-17 on Prince Benjamin within 48 hours or beyond would activate the curse, but it worked in my favor. I let her think I gave into her demands and protected your guardian spirit beast. And with all due respect, I was able to lay the groundwork for you to transcend your body and become the guardian deity for our national prosperity. Holy moly.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No words.
Continuing on, he has this childlike whimsy in his eyes as he says, I need nothing more in this life. If the reflected curse kills me, I would be perfectly satisfied.
They are drawn a little nutty here. I will, like, you.
Yeah, they look crazy. But I love it. It's so funny that this is coming from Furikov. This is just so not the Furikov we've spent so much time with in this arc. It's insane to me.
It's intentional too, to a degree.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
the most analytical of his soldiers can just like he's just a fanboy for Benjamin at the end of the day, man.
Oh yeah, all these soldiers are his boys, man. He spent so much time with them, and it shows. They love this man. And in response to this, Benjamin says, I am a fool who should have never doubted my own men. You'll have to put up with me a bit longer. That's just insane. Like, what a crazy situation to come out. He just basically killed you straight up, and now you're like, I'm such an idiot. How could I think ill of you? What?
Obviously, you were just trying to turn me into a god.
Yeah, of course.
Duh.
Why didn't I think of that?
So we then get the explanation of Furikov's ability, Full Metal Alchemist. Hey.
They were just continuing
Love
with the
it.
manga references in this arc.
Yes. Or Combo Master, a specialist ability. By being with the target for a certain amount of time in total, it deciphers the details of the target's ability and then creates a weapon that could destroy or supplement and amplify said ability. Very fun ability. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Insane.
Cannot use Hatsu while the ability is being deciphered. Cannot use Hatsu while the weapon is being transmuted. The more powerful, effective, and influential the ability, the longer it takes to decipher. The time required for transmutation is equal to the deciphering time, and if interrupted, the clock resets. So it's in some ways similar to Rihan's ability, Predator, in that it's, well, sorta, except it actually analyzes it on its own.
It's like 2.0. It's like a little bit. I immediately made that comparison when I read it too. 100%.
Yeah, it's like both a nerf and a buff of the ability. It's interesting.
Yeah, because Rihan has to decipher everything himself. That's a handicap on him to be able to just have like an insta-kill, basically. But, yeah, Furikov here, it just deciphers it automatically. Assumingly that the information would just be like immediately like transmitted to him or something, like as it's deciphering, is how I'm kind of reading this. But the fact that it's like a
fax
support
machine,
ability, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, actually, that's a good visualization of it.
But like, yeah, the fact that it's like a support ability, also like being able to use that to your advantage is crazy, I think. But this explains exactly how Benjamin and like probably knows what his then beast ability is, from this conversation because Furikov deciphered it with his ability, which is really really fun.
Yeah.
There was a big thing here that I don't know if you guys want to get too much into because I don't want to derail everything. But like I don't know if this was interesting to you guys or not. But like Furikov's ability is now like very similar to Saradnik's, where like now like you're kind of like differentiating between Hatsu and like Nen ability, right? Where I feel like for a long time people have always kind of assumed they're like kind of like the same thing, or they've used those terms as the same thing. But like here right now you have this Nen ability that's saying while in use Hatsu is not available. So it's almost like and then you also like I know like it's not clear with Saradnik's future sight if it's his if it's that new Nen beast that he created or not. But then like he's now that if it's his ability, he's now using an ability inside of Zetsu, which is supposed to not be. It's like it's interesting how like Nen is kind of almost like the rules are being bent to a very interesting degree, not broken, but like just kind of like bent just a little bit for like these people that are able to just like come up with these interesting enough abilities. Like it's just interesting to me like how Succession War has really leveled up Nen as a whole.
Yeah, it really has. And you're so right, yeah, how this does kind of squash the whole interchangeably using Hatsu and Nen ability as one and the same, because they are different. I mean, yes, like a Nen ability is an application of Hatsu, but I wouldn't say they are the same thing as some people like to say.
They're not equivocal.
Yeah, this makes it pretty clear. Yeah.
Definitely. I think it's like something like this is very important, because like if you were in the Hunter x Hunter world and you weren't able to make that distinction, cooked, you know, you'd be like, Furycov can't use an ability, right? If you can't use this ability, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't follow the rules, but it actually does, you know. It's just perspective. It's Togashi's insane with the way he does things.
Yeah And it never feels forced. It always feels very natural, which is so unbelievably impressive. Like a very few writers could pull what he does off here with such grace. So we end the page with Furycov bowing. It says, "With pleasure, my prince." And somebody says, I don't know if this would be Benjamin or him, says Serenich and Hulkenberg colluded to steal a military biological weapon and used it.
So
that's probably Benjamin saying that.
I like to imagine it's part of his Erwin Smith, like, as he's like going out. Like,
I think that might be the lead into this next page. I think
what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Benjamin saying that. Into which we have an awesome double page spread here where he says, "Notify all my men, I will declare special martial law at 14:15 today." And then we get more monologue with the inner monologue with Benjamin saying, "My guardian spirit beast ability that Furycov deciphered, used in conjunction with Benjamin Baton, will make me the spiritual core of the Kaige tree, taking the place of the seed urn ritual. I will be the guardian spirit of its leader." What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Oh my god.
Unreal.
He literally sounds insane.
Yeah.
He does, right? He sounds delusional. Like he sounds like he's lost it.
Yeah.
That one sentence spawned a billion questions in my brain. Like, how the hell does this work? What do you mean you're taking a place of the seed urn ritual? How does that affect the entire succession contest if that were to happen? You're gonna be the guardian spirit of whoever actually becomes king of this contest? How does that work? What does that look like? I don't know! Togashi's crazy!
And honestly, it develops a different question for me. Like, did the same thing happen with Nasubi's guardian spirit beast? That could be some other dude too. I don't know. We have no idea. This opens up so many new avenues, as did every other chapter in this batch. It's ridiculous what's going on here, man. Everything is changing. The core foundation of this whole arc has changed so much over these last 3 chapters.
It's ridiculous. Also, used in conjunction with Benjamin Baton. That's what I'm really hung up on right now. Because, like, is the implication there that, like, Benjamin dies, and then his Guardian Spirit Beast's ability activates, which we still know nothing about, really. And then with Benjamin Baton, are you planning on using, like, Furykov's ability while dead with that, in conjunction with whatever your beast's ability is? I don't know. Like the way he words that makes it sound so insane. Like, I can't even comprehend what the possibility is.
I mean, it's just because we don't know what his Guardian Spirit Beast does. If we knew, I'm sure this would all make sense, but, like, it just sounds like absolute nonsense right now. It makes it very funny.
It's like such like it's only the surface level, right, of like what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Like the best like interpretation that I could like make is like he's like using all of like the postmortem Nen from like Benjamin Baton and like his death of postmortem Nen. And then I have to imagine Furycov dying of the curse has to place some like Furycov making such of an emphasis on like the counter curse is what will benefit you in the long run. Like, it's almost like, maybe I'm wrong in interpreting it this way, but it's almost like he says it in that, like, the powerful Nen of that curse will then also flow into your Benjamin Baton as well. And that will also buff you. Again, it could go anywhere, right? Like, it's just like, yeah.
That is an interesting interpretation of that, too. But yeah, ultimately, this is going to entirely hinge on whatever the hell that Guardian Spirit Beast ability is, and I think that reveal is going to be one of the most insane things of this entire arc.
Yeah.
Once we get there. It's what it's leading up to, I think. But yeah, so spiritual core of the Kaige tree, that's godlike, I guess, if I've ever seen a description of such. Benjamin continues saying, that will make me the highest power in Kaige, a supreme authority that transcends even the king. So he's not even going for just kinglyhood now. He's going for just spiritual rule over Kaige for the rest of eternity, I guess.
Listen, that's a big promotion.
One could say there's no bigger promotion than that.
Someone said, Benjamin, you want to be the manager? He said, I'm going to run the whole company.
Yeah.
You know, like
what's a king to a god?
It is weird that, like, does that mean he's gonna live forever? Like you said, like, is he gonna be the guardian spirit? I assume if he wants to pass it to his son, he's gonna then be his son's guardian spirit beast. But the way he phrases it, it's almost like, I'm gonna be guardian spirit beast and I'm gonna be a god forever. You know, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm forgetting. Nasubi's guardian spirit beast. I can't recall if that's his own or if that is like the original guardian spirit beast from the first succession contest. Do we know for sure?
I don't know if they ever outright confirmed it, but I think I was under the assumption it was his own.
That would make sense.
But it's an interesting question, Kaige, because with what we know with the Nen coffins coming together, like, it is possible. I think Benjamin, like, I don't want to skip ahead because Dylan, I want to still let you still have the half of the page to read, but like, I think with what he says later on this page specifically, like, he might, like, in it, like, Broken Clock is right, you know, twice. He might actually be kind of hitting on something here without realizing it. That, like, this is what has always been the point, to eventually power up, and continually power up the generations and carry that power, make it stronger, carry it over and over and over again. At least that's what I've always kind of assumed the moment we saw the Nen coffins.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me continue reading the rest of this page, and maybe we can discuss that a bit further also. Benjamin continues to exclaim out loud now, begin preparations at 14, like 14-0 on the dot. Kill on-site personal guards on Tier 1 who are not members of the Royal Army. Kill quietly and respectfully. So, yeah, we're going all out here. Kill everyone not affiliated.
Crazy.
And then I'll read the second part he exclaims out right before reading the rest of his monologue. Do not harm the Hunter associates. In accordance with the rules, secure, quote-unquote, secure, the princes and gather them in the Great Hall in room 1001. So, round up the princes also. For very bad stuff, presumably. He continues to monologue to himself. The succession battle wasn't a game of survival to pick the next king. Kaige will soon rule the world as one nation, and the Huigoro line, unbroken for all eternity, will lead it. This was a holy war to select the god, the glorious guardian and protector who must see it through. Very evangelical now. I didn't expect that out of Benjamin, but okay. Yeah, go off. That's crazy. It
really just sounds like the delusions of an insane person, but
someone that knows they're gonna die, and this is like the only thing that makes sense to keep on living. Like, it's interesting too because of how quick he kind of like, you're so right, Furikov, I'll become a god. This makes so much sense. This is what was always meant to be. And yeah, like, you didn't expect him to come off this passionate, this evangelical, you know what I mean, towards this. It's almost like, where did this come from? Like, you came up with all of this very quickly.
You know, I personally don't see it happening, but there is some room for speculation in the fact that, like, that could just be real. Like, he actually could just be going crazy right now. I don't think that's the case. I think he is telling the truth here, or at least he believes he is.
Furikop's just the biggest gaslighter in the world.
It's like, possible. Furikop could be playing like 6D chess here, for all we know. But I don't think that's the case. I'm taking most of this at face value because of the simple fact that we don't know what his Guardian Spirit Beast ability is. But there's also, I mean, hey, if that information came from Furikov, who's to say he wasn't lying about that? He could have just told him the wrong explanation of his own ability. Who knows, man? There's a lot going on here.
The biggest help or the like worst possible person ever for you, right? Like,
yeah,
it's honestly crazy.
You got to put a lot of trust in him for this.
You have to put a lot of trust in him. Is Dylan reading the next page, or was that a double spread?
That was a double
Yeah,
spread.
you'll be reading the next two.
I'm getting hit with all the double spreads, sorry.
Yeah, you are.
No, it's fair. So, after Benjamin makes that proclamation, which I wanted to ask you guys before I continue, is this before he meets up with the Zodiacs, or is this after he met up with the Zodiacs and now he's trudging along to go actually commit the actions?
This is before, definitively.
Okay,
because
I wanted to make sure, because I wasn't sure. So
he in 410, martial law was already declared whenever he talked to the Zodiacs.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So this is before. So.
All right. So we still have not progressed the timeline whatsoever. Good to know. Okay.
Yeah. We're getting close, though.
We're getting close.
As close as we've got. But okay, yeah. So Benjamin, Furikov, and actually, you guys are so right. I don't know this Dill Pickle's name over here.
This is
Dill Pickles.
He might be the only character I don't know off his face, but that's another one of his Benjamin's guards. But either way, so
It's
Benjamin
Butch.
goes.
His name's Butch.
Butch.
Ah, there we go. Of course, he looks like a Butch.
He doesn't.
As for Camilla and Sarodnik, leave them to me. I can't let Mother find out about my guardian spirit beast ability, or us, apparently.
Yeah.
Therefore, the thing I should be doing in the short time that remains to me is purge the rest of the princes and to become the one true heir. And then, as the next king, issue an official will. And then he activates Moose's ability, Secret Window, before we go over to the next page. Which, like, I guess I can talk about the secret window thing because he's just about to explain it. I think it's absolutely insane, apparently, what happens from him using it, which I think is also maybe going into, like, how he just assumes he'll become a god. So he's spying in on Camilla, getting her a post-lunch massage. Camilla's getting her daily post-lunch massage at 3 p.m. She would never let anything cut it short. The problem is her ability. Allow for 15 minutes to confirm the safety of Camilla and Sarodnik. Gather the remaining 6 princes besides Hulkenberg and Fugetsu in room 1001 by 1330.
Interesting that we're excluding Fugetsu here. I'm really curious about that, but I don't know. It leads me back to thinking about like when he saw Fugetsu in her current state, and he was like, "Oh, she's like fucked up right now." Maybe there's
I think he literally said like, "Wow, she's about to drop dead."
Yeah, so maybe it's just like she's gonna die anyway. So like whatever.
Yeah, he might just not be really worried about her at all.
Which seems kind of careless in my eyes, considering the state he's in. But like,
well, you got to think he has a lot going on here, a lot of ground to cover. I think it's in his point of view, at least. I would probably find it justifiable to ignore like the surefire dead one, because of how much other stuff he has to deal with now.
That's fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, I thought it was
he's
interesting.
Also like not even worried about anyone ranked below like Hulkenberg might have been the lowest ranked prince he was even really worried about, right? Like I feel like Benjamin, Camilla, they probably were pretty aware that like a lot of the younger princes weren't even going to be able to survive. I think that's what he even says. He just assumes that like, oh, this is just too much for her anyway, and then like, you know, like you said, she'll be dead soon in a little bit.
That's fair. Yeah.
But something that I think is interesting with like the way that he's securing the princes now. I don't know if you guys are like so I pay attention to multiple translations for this, and it's interesting that I noticed here because I'm pretty sure the actual Japanese like text on the screen when when Benjamin is declaring to kill all members that aren't royal army, I'm pretty sure he's also meaning that he wants them to kill all of the guards that aren't his. Like he wants like even if you're a royal guard, I want you dead. I want my military to be the only people on tier 1. It's not just which again maybe that's just I don't know, that could just be, but I'm pretty sure that that's a big discrepancy. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, he did
how
say
that
it
progresses.
He did say it in his martial law declaration, where he said, "Kill on sight personal guards on tier 1 who aren't members of the royal army." So you are correct. He only wants members of the royal army alive, basically.
I think it's like that weird thing where like there's like that weird way that Togashi does like the royal, where like the royal in Kakken means multiple things at the same time. Like royal can mean the whole royal ensemble, but royal can also mean just my royal. It's like a whole weird thing, the way that Togashi does his dialect.
he is. I mean, he is just taught because the Royal Army is his army. Anybody else would be excluded from this because I mean, the
I
people
guess
you
you're
might
right,
be thinking
yeah.
of would be like you're probably thinking of like the Queen's True Guards,
The Queen's
people like
Guard,
that.
yeah, the Queen's Guard.
They're not in the army, so yeah, in theory,
Fair.
they would not be
Okay,
included
fair.
here. Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, then that's just me. Then never mind. I just wanted to. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. Then she came to my. So this is when he's figuring out. Getting back to. He's talking about Camilla because he's planning on taking both her and Sorodnik himself. She came to my quarters by herself and emptied her gun. So her type is either counteractive or invincible. Both often activate upon getting attacked, which makes it difficult to tell them apart. I continued the surveillance non-stop in order to level up secret windows sufficiently, and now I can rewind the record of what Moose witnessed until the moment of his death, which is like crazy.
Yeah, like that's a thing. We're just not gonna elaborate on that. We're okay, sure. Why not? Thanks,
Furikov,
Togashi.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, like this could just be maybe because like again like I assume because Moose or the abilities that Benjamin inherits are technically maybe they're powered by post-mortem Nen, so maybe this is like it might just be Benjamin Matan himself and like he just can use it, and maybe Moose would have used it long enough he would have unlocked the same thing. But it's weird that the moment that it gets in Benjamin's hands is when it like spikes up. It's like he had like double XP on for like when he was using it, right?
Yeah, it was double
XP
XP weekend on the Black Whale.
But yeah, so he's able to rewind everything and basically see what happened when Moose died. So he's able to determine that Camilla's ability is definitely counteractive and that killing her activates her Nen and she drains the assailant's life energy to bring herself back to life.
On point.
Furikov pitches in real quick and says 13th Prince Mariam is still missing. And Benjamin, which is like, he's like, yeah, he's within the Nen space created by his guardian spirit beast. You didn't know that?
Dude, that was crazy. How does he know that?
He's different,
What?
bro. This chapter is like all aura from Benjamin. He just knows everything.
Dude, my jaw hit the floor with that one. What? Nobody knows about that. What are you talking about?
I know. And he
Oh
knows,
my
like, use the
God.
phone to communicate. And he's like, it's like,
Yeah,
he
he
is,
knows
like, fully,
everything.
like,
What?
You know what? Maybe it's the guard that's assigned to Mariam that like maybe he like overheard some of the conversations they had and communicated that to Benjamin.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good point.
True.
That's a good point.
They were being really careful not to let him know, but I mean, who knows? That guy could have some like listening.
Do we know his
Right.
ability? Yeah, he might
No,
have
we don't
something
know.
like
We don't know.
he might have something like Rihan or Furikov, right? Like it's possible. Like
This is something I could see Togashi like going back to in a future chapter to explain how he got that information.
oh great,
you
next
know?
chapter. We're not picking up the timeline at all. Awesome.
Probably not.
So yeah, he says he's within the Nen space created by his guardian spirit beast. Use the phone to communicate. Sequel can handle it. If they don't come to room 1001 by 1430, send Rihan.
Ugh, not
Crazy.
Rihan, bro.
No, the dialogue
He's
would be
just
crazy.
a kid.
Oh no.
That's a
and then
name
he
drop, by the way.
immediately
We didn't
starts,
know Sequel's name before, so that's new.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Okay.
The more you know.
Not major, but it helps. I mean,
No,
we now
that's
have a
it.
name
I'm
for
sure
him.
it will be.
Another update.
I'm
To
sure
the
it will
flames.
be.
Yeah.
And then he's immediately starts thinking about Sorodnik. Because we knew they had beef before they even got on the whale. They were like calling each other on the phone, right? Like saying
Yeah,
they
while
were
he
gonna
was
fuck
breaking
each
a
other up.
bear's neck.
I wanted to make you suffer enough to beg for death, but I don't have the time. I will make sure you see my face the moment I kill you.
All right, man.
It's so I think this is like classic Togashi setting up irony. Like that's like
Yeah.
so insane. Like he is so heavily prepared for Camilla's like counteractive death ability that he's gonna go for Sorodnik, and like Sorodnik has future sight. He might not even know. Like I think that's kind of really funny.
Yeah, because important to note is that Serenich is the only guard, or the only prince, I believe, who does not have a Benjamin guard in his quarters.
Correct.
So he has no intel whatsoever on
Which I
Serenich.
also thought was weird because he's using he can with Secret Window you get 3 owls, right? Why he? Well, I guess no, because Saradnik's Guardian Spirit Beast would nip that in the butt,
Yep.
right? That's what happened the last time they tried to
Yeah.
spy on him. Okay,
Yep.
that makes so he would have no idea at all. Which is like, yeah, I think that's like this classic irony. He's like so prepared for Camilla's anti-death ability. He has no idea that the other prince he's also going for also has an anti-death ability at the same time.
Yeah, it's
Are we
Oh,
prepared
boy.
for the amount of ego he's gonna have if Benjamin confronts them and he kills Benjamin on the spot?
oh my god.
Oh my god!
We're never gonna
And
hear
in
the
the
end
worst
of it.
way too, because Benjamin's gonna think he killed him and then he's just gonna it's gonna be
Yes.
like teleports behind you like.
That will be an insane moment. Oh my god.
I was reading a little bit of earlier Saradnik chapter when he's like training and like I don't remember who the other hunter who's with him besides Theta is, but I don't remember his name at the
Salkov.
time. Thank you. Salkov. He's like, this guy is insane. He wants to spar after this. What's he gonna do to me? Like,
Yeah. Valid.
like maybe Saradnik literally does like get that on Benjamin. He's like, you know what? We're
Yeah,
good.
You're good, bro. Yeah.
That was my spar.
Yeah. Right.
I got Benjamin. I think I can handle everybody else.
Okay, so we do have
But,
one final
yeah.
double page spread to talk about here. Sorry, you got like all the dialogue this week, NoOperator.
No, it's I think that happened last time too. It's
It
okay.
probably did. Anyhow, yeah, we end with this double page spread giving us a layout of all the rooms, saying 15 minutes until martial law is declared. And there's some notable things about this. One,
Yeah.
it does appear that Benjamin will be heading directly to Camilla after this,
Yep.
which I mean makes sense. She's just right there. Why not stop by?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. What else we got?
we
So
got a
we got-
bunch of people-
1003 is having a bad time.
yeah.
Yeah.
He looks messed up. What the hell?
Yeah.
Probably 'cause
Something
there's no one
happened
there.
there.
Yeah.
I think Zonglei left, right? He already
Yeah.
dipped.
Yeah, he
pre-
went allegedly to see Onyor,
Mhm.
according to Benjamin, which I guess he'll also find out about. Probably from him in a second.
Right.
Actually.
But like everybody's on
Which-
their communication devices except for Kanji Doll, who has a knife out. What the hell?
Yeah,
is he planning?
what is he
Yeah, he's like
doing?
hiding in the closet for Loserus. Like, you see that? I just noticed that.
Yeah, this is a weird one because he was being. We know he was being fed false information by Basho, but he seemed to believe it. So I thought they were kind of on good terms, unless he found out that he was being fed false information. And now, I don't know. He's just going rogue and trying to murk them all.
Yeah, either
With a
way,
knife.
bro, Kanji Doll, I don't know if you're built for this, buddy. I don't know if
No.
this is the right move.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. He looks confident too. He's got that smirk on his face. He's ready.
That's interesting developments there, though.
Yeah, I wonder what's
then-
going on with Rihan and Tubepa, because we haven't checked in with them in a hot minute.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Well, I guess we saw her recently, but it wasn't anything substantial.
Well, I think that might have been the last we saw them, right? Is when maybe I'm misthinking because it was when her Guardian Spirit Beast activated, right? And like he was like, because she made a contract with someone. Was that the last time we saw her, or is there another time?
Did we not see her in one of the recent chapters just for like a panel? I might be misremembering.
You might be right.
I can't remember. It doesn't matter really. The
ti-
point
the
is, the last
timeline be
major
branching
development
out.
would be that.
There is so many
Yeah, I know.
POV. We got more POVs than Game of Thrones in Succession War at this
We
point.
absolutely
You
do.
know?
Yeah. So other things, we also have. What was his name? We just got it revealed. Sequel or something?
Sequel?
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 Sockwell?
Sockwell, yeah.
Something like that.
He's also chilling in a closet. A lot of closet dwellers. He's probably reporting to Benjamin about what is going on there. Or, I don't know. He must have reported before, surely, if he knew that much about it.
What's interesting to me is that, yeah, everyone's like kind of like off on their own getting information, except for Rihan, who's right next to Tubepa doing something. I guess maybe just getting the orders, for like, go to Mariam's room if they haven't reported or something. I don't know. And then we have Bobby Mina also, who is definitely on the line right now. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I was gonna
do.
ask. I wanted to ask you guys what you think because he's like, isn't he like kind of like somewhat seemingly conflicted? Like he kind of like is like, okay, like these guys are all right. Like
we don't know. He's been very quiet, but like, you know, he has done actions that would like that you would interpret as being like more like you know, cooperating with Kurapika's group.
Compassion, because he turned off his N, I think, right when he definitely, and even Furikov was like, "Why are you doing that?"
Yep. Yeah, because he didn't want to bother the queen. Yeah, this will be very interesting because, I mean, exactly that, too. Furikov isn't here anymore. So to see what Bobby Mina does on his own without any outside influence from Furikov will be very interesting. I think we're probably going to finally, like, settle on a direction for this character, which I'm very excited about because he's been a huge question mark for so long about, like, where his laurels lie. So that'll be cool. I'm very much looking forward to that. He has that same look on his face right now that he always does, so we really can't glean much from it. He's just listening.
Yeah, but definitely a character to keep your eye on going forward, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, from the other rooms, not a whole lot to note. Serena's just still training with Salkov, and Theta's, I don't know, sleeping or something.
Resting, avoiding his Nenbeast at all costs.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm glad that Benjamin's going for Saradnik because I'd feel so bad for the guard that walks in that door, like he's not ready.
Yeah,
but it's gonna...
that would be death on sight.
I am interested to see what happens with Camilla and though for sure because we don't even know what her guardian spirit beast does yet. Well, I guess we do, right?
No, we do.
It manipulates someone, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't want to. She's intentionally suppressing it because she wants to just rely on her own Nen. So.
Maybe this will be the moment when she releases it, though. I don't know.
It's so I don't know because I really see the Benjamin and Serenich encounter happening, but for that to happen, Camilla just has to die. So
I think it's like maybe Benjamin like thinks that she dies and then she actually doesn't or something.
Possible. I don't know. This encounter is going to be really crazy.
Yeah. Camilla becomes the god. She absorbs Benjamin, and she's like, "Oh my god! Actually, now I'm getting everything." She gets all the development that he was supposed to get.
That would be insane.
I think in any case, we're probably going to get her spirit beast ability properly revealed with this encounter. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I could be proven wrong.
I think by the end of this batch, for sure, we'll have probably Benjamin's phase of everything probably mostly done, I would imagine. I feel like...
Yeah.
I'm not going to say definitively because we could cut away at literally any point.
Yeah, we could. We could. We might cut... Honestly, I feel like the last half of the batch, we might even do what Togashi has continued to do, and we might just cut to the spiders, probably towards the latter half of the batch.
Yeah,
because he's done that I think 2-3 times now, almost like the last like 5 or so chapters.
Yeah, we got room still for some Mafia time, I think, in this batch. I'm feeling it. It'll happen at some point.
Yeah, so do we think... Like, that's the big question. Are we going to cut away again? Like, are we just going to keep riding this for a bit, or are we cutting back in time to catch up more with other people? What? I don't know. I keep going back and forth.
At the pace we're going, he's, like, really, like, putting pedal to the metal with, like, the pacing of these this martial law events. So,
yeah.
Like, I would lean towards continuing this for at least another chapter or two, but, like, I can't predict Togashi ultimately, so, like, I don't know. I don't really know.
There might be, like, a couple more things he might have to touch base with before we actually get to, like, what goes down during that time span, like, when everyone gets rounded up. Like, there might be, like, 1 or 2 more POVs that, like, we haven't gotten yet. But I feel like, actually, we might have covered everyone to get to actually have what needs to happen. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone that we haven't touched base with.
The fact that we're already 15 minutes before it's declared, like, I think we're going to be properly into, like, the actual martial law events relatively soon, it feels like.
Probably. It's just interesting because, like, if you're ever to do a binge read of this, which, I mean, we probably will, like, next year, we'll have 410 where we flash forward to martial law happening, and then there's just like 3 chapters, and then we're back again. It almost feels like, why did we even flash forward at all in 410? I don't know. whatever.
Togashi, man. He knew,
It's
well, maybe
Togashi.
he's like, he might be like doing like the cliff. He might have been like, all right, this is number 10 cliffhanger time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
possible.
It could just be
That's
as
very
simple
possible.
as that.
Yeah, regardless, I'm really hoping we continue just exactly from here because, oh my god, this is just insane.
It's
And like you
really
said, No
amazing.
Operator, I really do think we have all the pieces on the table. I can't really think of anything else we need to cut to because at first I was thinking like, well, we still got to touch on like the Mafia stuff. But no, we actually in the last batch, I think
we
got,
already did, yeah.
Yeah, we got everything we need to get us to this point. So I think we're ready. I really think we're ready to see this. Here's hoping, man. God, I hope this is gonna be ridiculous. I like the amount of things that are going to happen as a result of this is unbelievable.
Yeah, the one question mark that I have, I think, relating to the martial law events would be that obviously with martial law, all the tiers are going to be closed off in terms of like access to, between the tiers, right? And we know that Crollo is still trying to get the tier 1. So there is a question mark there of if he gets to tier 1 in time or not before martial law restricts all these accesses.
You say that wasn't. Oh, I guess that's 425. That's next batch. I started thinking about that one little snippet of the page we saw of like Skill Hunter behind Togashi's like thing, and I'm like, we know Crollo's doing something soon, but like we still got a little bit of time before that happens. I think.
Yeah,
I like
guess
very
it'd be next
vaguely
batch.
remember that. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
I actually that did ring a bell when you said that. I forgot about that until now, but yeah, but that would be
So-
next batch. But that doesn't mean he won't be in this batch. I could easily see him being here. And I don't know, man.
I still think he's teaming up with Karapika. I'm telling you.
I think
we're
that's-
on board with that now too.
That's my running
Yes.
theory. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
the true
It's-
match would be Karapika. Like, it makes no other sense to me for it to be anybody else. Like, given the context of everything we have right now. But
100%.
yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens going forward from here. A lot of crazy stuff set up with Benjamin. Benjamin lovers are eating very, very good now, I think. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a lot of happy
We got
folk
more
out there.
beyond chess pieces on the board, knowing that
Yeah.
Uma is like not only is she affiliated, she was able to hold the curse over Furykov's head when she did it. She's like,
Yeah.
don't I can activate that, or I can have Beyond activate that, and that
Yeah.
could really mess with Benjamin. You have to do this.
This paints a picture that she's like really like cooperating with Beyond and like conspiring something, with everything.
For sure.
Which is,
And
I don't
like
know if
now we know that baby in her room definitely isn't Benjamin's, because Benjamin would be much more concerned about his heir if he knew his mom had
a good
her,
point.
had it, and she was an enemy. So like I feel like there were like those two small little things that like were really hidden in the background there, at least for me.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Unma's doing a lot right now, and it just makes me wonder, like, yeah, because I really have completely ruled out Benjamin's baby being in her room at this point. It either has to be Hulkenberg's baby, or, as we talked about last week, potentially the real Wobble. It's just a matter of why would she have the real Wobble. Hulkenberg's kid obviously makes sense, but I really can't imagine why real Wobble would be there.
It for me, like, it answers a lot of questions that people had with the Wobble reveal, whereas to like we know, like, especially as like such like a low and new queen, like she had eyes and so many different queens surveying her, or, around her at times. Like a lot of people, like at least in my audience, were like, how did she manage to swap Wobble and no one found out? No one was really aware that she did that. And I feel like First Queen would be like, technically, in my opinion, potentially someone that would be like, oh, you thought you could get away with that? Don't worry, I was actually able to scoop your kid up, and like I brought him on the boat, and when you thought you got him off. Like I don't want to say, like, I don't want to put all of my stock on that, but like that was like a question that I saw come up a lot, is how did Oito manage to do that swap with no one finding out about it?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I guess, like, yeah, if anybody, it probably would be Unma, because she just seems to have some vice grip over everybody. She just knows everything, has her little mitts in every single part of this whole thing. It just, even if we don't ever really find out how she knows, it just kind of would make sense that she does. given her
Listen,
track
Beyond's
record.
been around long enough to know Cleopatra in diapers, apparently.
Yeah.
So, there's so many other, I imagine, networking relationships that he could have made with all of that time in Kakin. Like it's I saw someone on the Reddit say that like they think every single queen is a Beyond child. Actually, I was like, I don't know if I would go that far, but like it's crazy how like he's really been there and has been clearly playing 4D chess like that from the beginning. So it's not out of that far possibility, but I do think that's a little much.
That is a bit much.
Kaige put it best when he said Beyond has his like grubby little mitts on like everything in the Succession contest right now, and like I find it really interesting. I think that we can kind of connect that like Beyond probably also has a vision or a use for Hulkenberg specifically, being like a vital player in this contest, given Unma's massive support of Hulkenberg at this point, right? That we can infer from, and since she's working with Beyond probably has a vested interest in that as well. So really curious to see how that all lines up from here.
For sure.
Yeah, totally. Okay, is there anything else we want to talk about before we go into community comments?
I think we touched upon everything that I wanted to talk about personally.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, then let's go ahead and open up the floor and see what you guys had to say about it.
Yeah, let's do it. This will be a good one. Okay, now it's time to read what you guys have to say about Hunter x Hunter Chapter 413, Loyalty. Usual reminder, if you want to get in on the fun discussing any given topic week to week, make sure you keep an eye out for the YouTube community posts as well as the call-out post on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, if you want to email us your thoughts, you can always do so at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. They'll be going up every Sunday, right as the chapter officially releases on Shonen Jump, for you guys to respond to.
Absolutely, and the first comment this week comes from Bluesky from Milu Kitty, who says, the fact that Hulkenberg's coffin wasn't activated because his soul isn't dead was to be expected. I'm flabbergasted about Balls/Hulkenberg using the ability against... who, Ben? I don't know.
Who knows?
Somebody. Furykov, amazing, LOL. How does he know how Beyond's curse works? Also, I don't know if I'm understanding Full Metal Alchemist, the ability right either. Is Benjamin so sure about being able to kill Camilla and Serednich? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he doesn't know anything about Serednich, so he's in for a rude awakening. The Nen Beast in conjunction with Benjamin Baton. What does that even mean? How does that work together? I thought the Nen Beast couldn't attack other princes nor their beasts. It doesn't surprise me Benjamin declared the martial law thinking he has been poisoned. I'm very confused about today's chapter. Sorry if I sound silly. It's intentionally very confusing because the whole crux of everything is Benjamin's guardian spirit beast, and we know nothing about it. So it leaves us this very interesting feeling coming away from this chapter because we get a lot of bombs dropped, but we don't have the tools to understand what made the bombs drop to begin with.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, many questions spawning from every single page of this chapter, I think.
Yeah, at this point, I think I said it at the end of my review, where, like, all we can do is just speculate and play imagination games, like, as to what, like, Benjamin is, like, saying. Like, at the end of the day, like, whatever we come up with is probably not going to be what ends up happening or what he ends up meaning. And I'm not at this point, like we were even saying, like we're not even sure if Benjamin knows what he's yapping about right now. So like he could be completely off course entirely.
He really could be. It is a huge possibility.
Yeah, we're not going to know half of what Benjamin is talking about until we get that spirit beast explanation. But who knows when we get that? So it's gotta wait and see.
421.
421.
Probably.
All right. Next up is a comment from Low2199. Benjamin Truthers rejoice. The ogre was not taken over in 410. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can pretty much infer that he's not taken over as of that point also. Which is,
I think it's a safe bet at this point.
Yeah, I think that was another good reason to do the cliffhanger too, because there was a long time we really thought, like, did Hulkenberg take over Benjamin? Like, that was a genuine, like, that was a good way.
That was a fantastic cliffhanger in retrospect from Togashi. I have to give it up to him. Like, if that was the intent of that. Yeah. Being totally honest, when I first read Hunter x Hunter, I really didn't care for Benjamin. He seemed like a generic meathead brute, and I just assumed that he would be a momentary obstacle that would give way to the more interesting characters after he died. But in these last 13 chapters, and also rereading the arc, I really came to appreciate his character and how he and Hulkenberg work as mirrors of each other. It also helps that his soldiers are so funny. Like, what the fuck does Chex Wiki Kanjiro think he's going to do with that knife against Basho? It's exactly my thought, too.
Oh, Lord.
I hope that Hulkenberg didn't move bodies again, because I really wanted a Severance-esque scene of him trying to get Balsamilka to join him. Either way, maybe Hulkenberg... Oh, I think Kaige disconnected. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
I can't hear you if you're talking.
Muted.
Right now, Kaige. Yeah.
He got hit with the Nen arrow.
Yeah. Am I really Kaige? Who knows?
Found out where it went, man.
It was delayed, yeah. I don't know what just happened. What's up, though? I'm back.
What was the last thing that you heard?
You, like, just started reading that comment.
Okay. All right. I'll restart it from here. You can edit that however you see fit. Blooper or
Okay.
Not. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. We're rereading Low 2199's comment because Kaige died momentarily, got possessed by Hulkenberg. Anyways, Benjamin Truthers rejoice. The ogre was not taken over in 410. Being totally honest, when I first read Hunter x Hunter, I really didn't care for Benjamin. He seemed like a generic meathead brute, and I just assumed that he would be a momentary obstacle that would give way to the more interesting characters after he died. But in these last 13 chapters, and also rereading the arc, I really came to appreciate his character and how he and Hulkenberg work as mirrors of each other. It also helps that his soldiers are so funny. Like, what the fuck does Chex Wiki Kanjiro think he's going to do with that knife against Basho?
I don't know. It's a great question.
He's feeling himself, man. They're winning right now in their eyes, you know?
He's feeling good.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree in that, like, in conjunction with Hulkenberg's viewpoint of things, I think they just work really well as like storytelling elements for, just for like what the next future king of Kakin could look like, given the I guess the I don't know the inherent will of the successors, right? I hope that Hulkenberg didn't move bodies again because I really wanted a Severance-esque scene of him trying to get Balsamilka to join him. Either way, maybe Hulkenberg can escape his current predicament, but what will he do when the Serenich files drop and his excuse is like, we only talked about physics, don't fly anymore. Also, since Zonglei is not in the room 1003, he most likely is with Longbow, which would mean we'll finally learn how Nasubi won his succession war in this batch. That would be really interesting.
I didn't even really think about that, but yeah, I guess we could. I doubt we'll get like a flashback, but we'll probably at least hear about what happened.
If we got a Nasubi
nice.
flashback, hands up. Like, I don't know what he's doing anymore.
Young Nasubi, probably a Chad, dude. Imagine.
Probably.
Handsome
honestly.
Squidward. I would love to see it if Togashi makes him beautiful.
I bet he would.
One thing that this comment pointed out that I really loved that I actually wanted to bring up, and we had a good conversation, completely just got sidetracked. The comparison to Hulkenberg and Benjamin, just by Benjamin, like, not like stealing the idea, but almost like coming to a very similar conclusion by the end of the chapter, right? Like, I'll leave my body behind and I'll lead Kakin, my own way. Yeah. It's almost like the perfect like antithesis to Hulkenberg. Mm-hmm. And like almost like same thing, like Hulkenberg's abilities, Hulkenberg's then ability or his Guardian Spirit Beast ability, uses his supporters. Well, they both do use his supporters, and that's how he powers up. And he has his followers, his loyal followers that help him. But Benjamin also has Benjamin Baton, and it's just like when his soldiers, his loyal soldiers, die, they continue to live on with him, and he continues to use their abilities like they're like weapons that like he like it's almost like how they both view like their supporters. But both of them have very insanely loyal people that follow them. Like it's interesting, almost like how like they've been kind of having this like clash of. They've almost been like in a fight this entire time, and like Benjamin just realizes it this chapter. He's been in a Nen fight, and like I never realized how much like they're kind of two sides of the same coin until like this chapter.
Yeah, they really are, because it's just like it's both that same idea as you said, like the giving up our body thing for the sake of blank. But in one case, it's in a selfless way, and in the other case, it's selfish. Benjamin wants to give up his body and become a god, while Hulkenberg wants to give up his body for the sake of his people, for his country. It's really, really interesting. I did not think about it that way at all, but that's awesome. I love that.
Really, really cool way of writing those characters, I think. And not something I really foreseen until today, really. So, really cool.
Yeah. I also love the respect they have for each other. Like they're constantly still referring to each other like in a brotherly way, and have a lot of respect for each other just at a core level, which is awesome.
Compared to how Benjamin feels about Sarodnik, and he's like,
yeah, exactly.
Dude, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Fitting, given that like it seems like literally every prince hates that guy. So.
Oh yeah, well, except
Nobody wants him to
Hulkenberg,
win.
Weirdly enough.
True, actually, yeah, you're right. Hulkenberg and Tubepa actually, at least at one point, had an alliance with him. I don't know if that's still in effect, because it hasn't been mentioned since the first banquet. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I love the way that like Togashi's been writing this arc. Obviously, we're only two. Like we've said this probably multiple times, but like it's insane what he does. It is crazy. Like, and I also love how like so many people make like references to like JoJo stands, and it's like how I just said like Benjamin's been in a Nen fight for the last like 10 chapters. He hasn't even known about it. I'm like that isn't the most JoJo's thing I've heard in my life. Like, oh my god, we've been in a stand battle this whole time and we had no idea. Like,
it really is. Yeah.
So this is from Unikimi. I'm reading the right one, right? I didn't skip ahead.
That's right.
Okay. This is from Unikimi 8. Those coffins in the burial chamber are strictly ordered. Which means the binding Nen could actually quantify and recognize the princes through their flame of life. How does the missing OG Wobble factor into all of this? That is why I still believe that what Oito did will trigger some consequences later on, much like Borkson cheating in Marina's negotiation game, which that for one, I'm glad that that's an awesome callback of that, you know, Borkson and the whole cheating thing. I'm interested that like that might be something that we get to see, but I think they're already caught up to martial law, but I want to see that perspective. But yeah, I mean, like it is. That whole Nen battery machine thing is like the most foreboding thing right now, I think, in the arc. That like it could mean so many different things that like it's impossible to tell. I don't know, like right now, like at first I thought my thoughts were, you know, the original Kakin King has been like continually just like transplanting his identity into the new winner of the succession war, and Nasubi is like the original king. But maybe that's not even what it is at all. It might even be something different now. If you can, you know, if your body dies but your soul can live on, technically if a soul lived on that wouldn't meet I don't know.
There's so many factors to it. Yeah, like I said, this whole arc has changed as a result of these last 3 chapters, and we're trying to catch up as best as we can to all the new possibilities. But it's truly insane when you really take a step back and think everything is different now. Every single aspect is completely different, and we have to change the way we talk about the entire arc.
Yeah, going back to this comment though, like I do also still wonder what Oito did with like switching, you know, the real Wobble and, you know, Wobble's cousin, will actually like what that domino effect is going to look like, because obviously there's going to be a lot of things we're going to have to go through in order to kind of not necessarily like rectify that situation, but like figure out how that factors into the succession battle as a whole, especially as we go into martial law where everybody's going to be insanely restricted now, right, on their actions. So, you know, if Wobble's cousin were to, unfortunately die somehow, which would be crazy in of itself, right? Like if they were to try and place that in the coffin, what would happen, and like what kind of consequences would there be, I guess, if the true Woble's eligibility really isn't there or is still there somehow. It's interesting.
I mean, there's also the question of like the beyond child that is allegedly in the succession contest, like that they don't have royal blood, probably. So
it's so interesting to think about like how much like Nasubi is even aware of, right? Because like even like many people have brought up like how specific like the succession work criteria is, right? Like it's only the children of the legal wives, not necessarily have to be legitimate children of Nasubi to even participate. So it's almost like you know what, like again, like that brings up to the question of like the missing Wobble. Like are there going to be consequences for this new baby that is pretending to be a prince, or like does that going to affect the Wobble that may or may not be on the Black Whale now? Maybe Wobble is actually all the way back home in Kakin, but is the succession war rules going to affect it in some way? Like Karapi, or like as Karapika assumes, maybe one of the cursed sacrifices activates and Wobble's now completely in a different country, unprotected from the Nen curse. There's like there are so many factors that like that Wobble not being Wobble brought up. And again, like I feel like that short little dialogue with Nasubi and Nagui is important. The flame of life, like there's got to be a reason we saw that this chapter.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does feel like a breadcrumb of some sort, like yeah, giving us a little something to kind of think on, for future reference.
Yeah, totally. All right, next up is from Edokava, who says, "It's cool that the story is moving faster, and I'm super hyped to see where this is going. But to be honest, to me, it feels like this should have been 2 to 3 chapters instead of just 1 because of how much stuff is revealed at once." And Hunter standards, I don't know. We get stuff like this all the time.
It also feels very intentional to kind of just overwhelm us with this information, given the substance of the information being revealed also. Because, like, it's supposed to feel like, if the intention was to get the martial law feeling like even more of a big event than it already was, made out to be back in 410, it did a great job here, I think, given, the pacing of the chapter and just the information it dropped on us all at once. Like, it's supposed to be overwhelming, I feel like, to a degree. And then we explore on it later as more developments happen.
Such a good point, because you also get that immersive feeling of like, imagine what Benjamin's going through, like living it in real time and figuring it all out. And like you even pointed out in the way that he's drawn when he's poisoned, like all of those things that are probably going through his head in that moment that he has to kind of like cut through and still try to make sense, to make sure he can do the best with the time he's got left. Like, it really is like, yeah, all these characters are getting bombarded with all this information at the exact same time that we are, like, and they also have to make a decision about it much quicker. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. They continue to say, "Here are a few questions. Maybe I just need to read again, and this might sound extremely stupid in retrospect. Why didn't Furikov tell him about the poison sooner? If Benjamin didn't figure it out instantly on his own, they would have lost a lot of time."
Probably at the risk of information leaking, I would assume.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough. That is admittedly a weird one. Yeah, I don't know why.
It could be like one of those things where like maybe Benjamin would have been like, "Wait, hold up, don't poison me." Like it's almost like he had to like, I had to get you this point because you wouldn't have let me get you to this point.
Yeah.
It's like I had to ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission, kind of thing.
Right. I'd buy that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I wanted to say too, this is a complicated like chapter. Like you said earlier, no one should ever feel stupid for asking questions about Hunter x Hunter. Like,
No.
this is insane sometimes. Like,
there's probably 1 billion other people that had the exact same question as you.
And there really isn't even an answer to it.
Yeah.
If Yurikov can just extrapolate how abilities work when he stays close to the target, wouldn't have been better to use him to figure out the abilities of the other Guardian Spirit Beasts instead of sending him to the Nen class where he has to stay further away from Karapika?
Would a lot of the other guards or the other princes be that trusting for him to be as close to them as he would need to be? I don't know.
I completely agree with you, Dylan. Like, I think I've even seen people point that out where like Fury Cobb is clearly like one of Benjamin's most trusted people. Like when the whole idea of the Nen class went on, like he sent Baba Minya and Fury Cobb specifically because he knew he could trust them the most to report correctly on what was going on in those classes.
Yeah, I also just
he also
realized
has people
that this...
like Rihan too. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I also just realized that this completely reframes all the internal monologues we've gotten from Fury Kov about him trying to decipher Kurapika's Nen ability. I didn't even really think about that until now, but now we know a larger purpose behind that.
Oh, you bring up a really good point, because now, like, not saying that it is Baba Minya, but like it's interesting that Silent Majority's user does even like laugh to themselves. So funny that Furykov can't figure out who I am right now. Like, and it's funny that he specifically mentions Furykov, like almost like, oh, I know you have your whole thing is figuring me out, but you can't right now. That's hysterical. Like that could be nothing, but that's the first thing I thought of when you said that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Again, it's just another one of those things that changes everything on a reread. Like that's something. Next time I reread, I'm gonna be locking in on Furykov. I gotta see everything he's ever said now because he's a completely different character in my eyes.
Every reread is different. It's so funny. Like, it's going to be no exception just 3 chapters into this new batch.
I know, yeah. We still have so many more to go. Why didn't Unma try to kill everyone else first before targeting one of her sons? Even if she supports Hulkenberg, there are still a lot of princes left. Isn't this kind of like shooting your left hand because you prefer your right? No, because if she's really a ride or die for Hulkenberg, she will acknowledge that Benjamin is probably his biggest obstacle, at least on paper. Yeah. It doesn't matter if that's her own son.
Yeah.
If she believes in Hulkenberg on the throne, she's going to make that happen. But, like,
I also think it's important to to remember that like the succession contest is definitely like also like less of like a battle royale and more of like a political game too, a little bit. Like I feel like we've seen like what happened with Camilla. Like she walked into Benjamin's room and just started guns blazing, like, and that didn't really work. Like you kind of have to like play a little bit of like behind the scenes and like kind of literally play a little bit of 4D, especially if she's tied to Beyond. Like there's got to be like some, I feel like some forethought behind like the specific actions. Like I'm gonna leave these princes to themselves because Sun Tzu says never stop your enemy when they're making a mistake, and like I'm gonna make my plays in this way because of this reason.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think Benjamin is just like priority number 1 to deal with for a lot of the princes, not even just Hulkenberg. And I think Hulkenberg recognized that pretty much immediately anyways, as soon as he had the motivation to continue on in this contest, right? So I think it makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah. And then lastly, they end with, can't wait for 414.
Me neither. Yeah. All right. Next comment is from Creefleboss? Something like that. Apologies if I butchered that. Unma clearly lied about how the Beyond curses work in order to make Benjamin jump the gun with SML. It's GG for Ben, IMO. It is not GG for Ben, IMO. Not yet. If anything, this is
what is SML?
That's a good question, actually. Jump the gun with SML.
Special martial law.
Okay.
Duh.
Took me a second too. I was like took me a minute. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. Dude, I'm gonna be saying that for the next week. I swear. That was hysterical. That was so good. This is the Benjamin is actually crazy theory, and Fury Cop is just gaslighting him. Like that's all this is. Yeah.
I won't say it's impossible. I will say it's pretty unlikely. I think
that'd be the most negative aura ending for Benjamin. He just croaks and that's it. He doesn't become a god. He just dies.
Yeah.
I think Benjamin will eventually croak, but it's not going to be immediately given everything that happened here. I think he has more roles to play now, obviously. And it's not going to be from a Beyond curse. We got room to explore with this character still, so not GG yet. You're next up, NoOperator.
I'm sorry.
All good. All right, no worries.
This is from Dat's Game Ron. That call by Benjamin to kill everyone who's not a hunter is a crazy call, but a good call. He weeds out all of Beyond Secret guards, probably helps Karapika find Silent Majority, but then again, the hunters Karapika hired are not just gonna sit around and let it happen. Yeah, I mean, like to a degree, like I think Benjamin doesn't want to start like international war by like just killing a bunch of like hunters, and maybe like they just got into the V6 guys. But yeah, no, like I definitely think that like you're right, like it definitely is going to like it's smart. Again, it shows how smart Benjamin is. He's not just like a dumb leader. I also believe Morena works for Beyond. If you look at the Mafia layout, the other two families, Shiyu and Kara, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
We say Cha'ar, personally.
The Cha'ar? Okay. Has their head boss, then underboss, then there's the fake Morena with her insane Nen ability, who was working with Beyond Prince's son, Terror Sandwich, which he stops because he hates women. LOL. Okay. To be fair, when I'm on my read through my community, I called him White Drake. I felt like that was like the most appropriate, like instead of even trying to pronounce it, like. But Morena's goal right now, from what we know, is to destroy Kakin. And in previous chapters 412, Beyond sued for multiple reasons. Some line up with reasons leading to Beyond sued for multiple reasons, and some of them line up with reasons leading to Morena wanting to destroy Kakin. Sorry, my first comment was so long, but love your Hunter x Hunter videos. Togashi just keep dropping bombshells again and again.
Thank you so much.
Indeed, he does.
Thank you. Yes, he does.
Morena being like involved with Beyond is definitely an interesting way to look at it. I almost kind of enjoy Morena being like that third party wild card factor of everything that no one could have foreseen, but like also her being associated in some way with Beyond like wouldn't surprise me either, if that makes sense. Like if that the story ended up going that way, I'd be like, oh, okay, like I could definitely see that going that way. But I'm not sure how you guys feel.
I feel kind of strongly about this because it is just kind of senseless bias. I just really do love Morena being that weird, wild factor that nobody saw coming, nobody knows how to deal with. Total third-party thing that just swooped in and is changing the whole game. If she was like pre-set up to be something by somebody we know already, I feel like that would take away something from her. I really like giving her own agency, her own purpose. But if it turns out to be the case, I mean, it is what it is. I'd be a little disappointed, but I mean, it's also Togashi, and he'd probably make it something really cool. So I would just have to see how it's executed if that were the case. But I just love how she is now, personally.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way.
All right, next is from Makyo, who says, every chapter from this round continues to change the game. Yep, that's what we're all saying. My feeling is that Furykov's analysis and Benjamin's lofty goal of ascending Benjamin to the status of a god is a red flag for Benjamin. You don't say.
Yeah. Ultimately.
I'm excited to see what he's capable of accomplishing in such a short period of time, but Camilla and Serenich are incredibly dangerous snakes in the grass, and I think they will get the better of him. Both of them will, you think? That's interesting.
Okay.
It's also interesting to see that he has strong negative feelings towards Seri. We know he's evil, but his inner circle respects him, so I wonder how many enemies he's made and how many people he's made genuine enemies of beforehand. Him and Seri seem to have a very complex history based on... We haven't seen them interact a whole lot, to be honest, but the one major interaction we got before this whole thing even started was so visceral on both ends. Like, they hate each other. I just have to imagine something went down at some point between them. I just don't know what, but now's a good time to tell us, honestly. I feel like we might actually start to learn if he actually does end up going to Seri's room. That's the time to tell us all about them.
seems like it's a little bit of like a clashing of egos, right? Where like Benjamin, like clearly Benjamin is willing to give respect to people he considers his equal, people he considers are worthy of value, which we've seen it with Hulkenberg, to the point that he even like almost inadvertently set up Hulkenberg's like arrow fire at him by letting Hulkenberg bring all of his guard back down so he could see his funeral. Like, so it's not that Benjamin just hates Saradnik because he's a lower prince. Like you said, there's got to be some kind of reason in their history where Saradnik gave Benjamin every single reason to not like him, because we know Benjamin will give respect to people when it's due. We've seen it, even to Fugetsu, someone that is so far beneath him, he doesn't have a reason to like show grace to, you know, like Saradnik is also Saradnik, so like, you know, you kind of you kind of love him or you hate him if you get, you know.
Yeah, totally.
All right, next up from my Balzich, of course. Awesome username.
Balsamico in chat.
Wow.
Royal Guards, contagious diseases, potential godlike entity that consumes/absorbs others in order to become stronger, and world domination. Chimera Ant Arc 2.0, here we go. All we are missing is a Netero with a secret bomb.
This is like everything eventually evolves into a crab, but it's Togashi. Everything eventually becomes Chimera Ant.
Yeah, we even have Saridnich and Beast creating like non-humans, allegedly.
Crazy.
Also saying we're missing a Netero with a secret bomb. We don't know that yet.
Exactly. We got plenty of Neteros on this boat.
Poor Man's Rose 2 blows up the whole ship. Arc over.
Why not?
But yeah, it's a crazy arc, just like Chimera Ant. It's by the end of it, who knows what it looks like in its entirety.
All right. So this is from Clownat898A. This chapter felt like a fever dream. Yeah. I was reading it under the influence, and it really felt like I was in a blunt rotation with Benjamin and Furikov because of how these schizophrenics were acting. Oh my god.
Why would you read this chapter under the
blunt
influence?
Rotation, bro.
Bad idea. That would be insane.
What is the basis of Furikov's speculation about Benjamin's death? That's like what I feel like all of us were at, like where Benjamin was just like, you're right, I'd become a god. Exactly. Like he hasn't used his ability on Benjamin yet, which again, I think it's fair to say like we don't know that. I think it's definitely fair to say they've been around each other long enough to where like it wouldn't surprise me if like Furikov just analyzed him earlier on in the story. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but
yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't surprise me, especially knowing Furikov can do that. That would be like the first person I'd hit up, be like, "Yo, tell me what this does."
Like, wouldn't you immediately be like, "Hey, decipher my Nenbeast like right now"? Like, duh.
That would give you such an advantage.
Yeah. Seriously, that's an advantage that nobody else has.
So how does he know that if he dies, he will just continue living in another form? Benjamin is a smart guy, so it's shocking seeing him take this info at face value with nothing to support it. It definitely feels like crazy, for sure.
Togashi is withholding information from us. Like, this is what it is.
He doesn't... It's not the case that he has nothing to support it. We just don't know what supports it as readers. He knows. We don't.
It seems crazy right now, you know, but like it will definitely feel more natural as we get more. Maybe his admiration for his soldiers got the better of him, and maybe that's what his mom was relying on. I do like that. If Furikov does end up potentially betraying him, I think that would be like his craziest downfall. Or maybe he's latching on to the idea of immortality due to the realization that death is facing him. We said that. And then there is also a chance that Furikov is being manipulated by Camilla's guardian spirit beast. Yeah. Someone is trying to walk Benjamin to his death. I didn't even consider that.
That's very interesting.
Little manipulation going on, potentially. Okay.
This is a bit of a crackpot theory, but what if the first queen is the daughter of Beyond and all her kids are Beyond's princes? I didn't want to say this before. She does have the Netero nose. like it wouldn't be out of the question. I just want to. I want to put that out there, which would explain why the three of them have cracked abilities. Also, kind of makes sense. I mean, but also, isn't Camilla by Dwazul? Right?
Yes.
Or is she?
Yes.
Yes. So okay, and Camilla is also pretty OP.
Yeah, she is underrated.
But I mean, Beyond is old enough for that, right? Yeah, 100%. It wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, the Fury Cop manipulation thing, and I mean, really, this ultimately could end up being a non-factor, but it would be interesting as an explanation to why he's acting so differently from how we've known him before. But I want to say Benjamin would notice that before anybody, so I don't think there's really
Hulkenberg even says as much with Balsamico. Like, he would immediately figure me out.
So, I back and forth on it. It could be possible. I think that'd be a really interesting wrinkle, because manipulation abilities aren't all about like rewriting a person's personality. It could also just be influencing their pre-existing mind. So he's still acting as himself, just doing something he wouldn't do. Never know.
Never know. That's right.
It's possible. Alrighty, next up is from LVO Speed, who says, Chapter 413 is huge for Benjamin, showing that he has the intellect to decipher Furykov's plan and where his loyalty lies. Not to mention, he may have one of the best spirit beasts in the contest. It sure sounds like it, based on how they're hyping it up.
Yeah.
I'm also happy that martial law hopefully means that some guards are killed off. It's looking likely.
Yeah.
So we don't have to remember all of the random names constantly. Yeah. Hopefully it makes Caige's slides easier as well. Well,
that's more work for him.
Yeah, it's actually more work because I got to make them all dead. But after it's done, yeah, that'll be easier to update them in the future because it's less characters to update. Mm-hmm. As a side note related, Chapter 413 and 412, I think both Wobble and his cousin are her cousin. You mean? Or I guess, well, depending on who you're talking about, it doesn't really matter. Whatever.
I mean, they're both cousins.
Babies.
Whatever. Yeah, the babies.
Literally doesn't matter. Are
Don't
on the
assume
boat.
the baby's gender.
Yeah, that's right. Are on the boat and eligible for the succession contest. Don't ask me how, but I think it's the best explanation for the 14 coffins.
We do have 14 coffins. That is still kind of a mystery about that whole room. So it is interesting.
I originally assumed it was for an Asubi, but maybe that isn't the case. You know, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one to think on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna turn up like that exactly, but I think it is worth probably thinking about that still, like in the back of our minds, you know, as we continue to see progression on whatever the hell that room is, you know, just as more princes drop to.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I'll have to think on that, I think.
Yeah, that's because, I mean, again, it just reframes everything, but in the case of the weird Nasubi Nen room, I really do have to completely rethink the way I was thinking about it, because now we know that it's not, and that's because of Kurapika. We now know that this is not some like personal game for Nasubi. Unless it still is, I guess that's also possible. I don't know. Maybe somehow manipulating it to, benefit him in some ways. Nasubi is a huge question mark. We don't know anything about that man, really.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up is from Hi3960. This chapter feels like the most movement we've had since many, many years. Maybe the end of this arc is closer than we think. 450 could be the final chapter. It low-key very well could be with how much we're ramping up here. Because I don't want to say what we're entering right now and then the special martial law is like the climax of the arc. It doesn't feel like we're that far in. Mm-mm. But if we're going to continue at like the same general pace as we are right now, I mean, we could reach like climactic points by that point, by that like chapter number at the very least. Like, there's a lot of stuff that could happen in the next 30 to 40 chapters. So
yeah, because this part of the story, which I'd probably call maybe like a mid-climax, seems to be about dwindling the numbers down. I think after we're done with this whole Benjamin bit, this is going to mark like a new era for the arc. The whole playing field's going to be reset, and we're dealing with a whole new game, basically.
Yeah, this feels like we're kind of like it vibes wise to me. This isn't gonna be a perfect comparison, obviously. Vibes wise to me, it feels like we're like starting to enter like kind of like the start of like the palace invasion in Chimera Ant. Is what it kind of like feels like to me. Like it's not exactly comparable, but like we're setting up a lot of stuff and a lot of shit is going to be going down very very soon. And then it's not quite the ending of the arc obviously, but we're kind of gearing up towards like we're gearing up for like maybe potential like setting up for endgame at the very least of this arc. It's what it feels like to me. I could be very wrong.
Yeah.
And Togashi could swerve, but
No, I agree with you. I've always like described the Succession War as like 3 phases. The first phase was when we had all of the like people that had the princes that had no business even being in the Succession War. They were all taken out. This Benjamin phase is going to happen. And then I feel like after this, especially knowing that there's still like a month and a half left, like on the Black Whale, like I feel like it's almost like after this, Kaige, like you said, like we're gonna have like this dwindle a huge amount of the numbers, and the only people that are gonna be left are going to be like the main heavy hitters. And then I almost feel like maybe at that point, that final phase will be like maybe not like a time skip, but knowing how much time is left, there has to be like almost like a standstill or some kind of stalemate that happens after this that kind of makes everything progress slower to a degree. Because there's no way that the Succession War is going to end like in week 3 and then we still have to sit on the whale for like another. Right. I feel like those things have to be like closer together. And knowing how much time is left, it's crazy that like everyone's saying like we are progressing very fast.
Right. Like you said, after this, I think it'll open the door for more, days on the boat where nothing really happens of note, so we can skip more time to bigger events. Because right now we're in a phase where every day there's something huge happening, so we have to focus in on minute details. But this will probably enable the arc to move faster as a result.
There's also too many people that aren't even involved right now, right? Like Zhonglei, WillOWisp, and we know nothing really about what they do. So
yeah,
there's definitely people that still still need chances to like have big roles and they've kind of been like cooking lately, like in the background.
Something actually I just thought about in 410, the fact that, because you said Zhonglei and WillOWisp, those are the two that are missing at the end of 410, and WillOWisp is still here. At the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I wonder what happened.
The knife didn't work. Who would have thought?
Good job,
I don't know.
Control.
That's really interesting. Maybe. Well, no, we know what his Nenbeast does. I don't know. That's a huge question mark for me. I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe something to do with Melody and Kacho's plan, potentially.
Maybe. Yeah.
Perhaps.
100%.
We'll
me next,
find out. Well, I need to read the rest of this.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you finished. I didn't know you didn't finish. Go ahead.
No. It's all good. I also never thought that Benjamin and Surinich, however you write him, LMAO, would get into direct conflict, but that could be so cool. It could also be very quick. That's what I'm foreseeing, but we'll see. Now that we are almost at Special Martial Law, I think we will get Phantom Troop in one of the next chapters. I feel like we'll do a check-in sooner rather than later at the very least, even if we don't focus on them.
We gotta. I'm so locked in on the war right now, though. I don't even.
Even if it's not like the people that are with the Mafia, even if it's like someone in the lower tiers that we are like Illumi or like, there's still other Phantom Troopers that have no idea, like what their really status is at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm ready for Machi.
I'll take that.
We're gonna get 3 pages of Shizuku now that you said that.
Ugh. I don't know, man.
Listen, do you guys remember what I told you about Shizuku last time? I'm telling you, if she appears, I'm worried about her. I don't know if you remember, but
no, I mean we've been talking about it since. I really
good, very good.
She's probably cooked.
Just a matter of time.
Who knows when? Yep. And Benolanov as well. He's. I think he's the first to die.
He's ultra cooked. Like Shizuku isn't cooked quite yet, but like he's literally on the same tier as Hisoka.
He's dancing with death.
Yeah. All right, now it's your turn.
Okay. All right. This is from Finks Fan, or Finks Fan. They just spell with PH. I love the chapter title, Loyalty. One of the biggest themes of the Succession War is who you have marching beside you. I actually have come to love the chapter title more and more after talking about this with you guys. The people who have sworn allegiance to you and will do whatever it takes to see you succeed. Benjamin and his royal army, Camilla and the have-nots. That's a good call out too. Hulkenberg and his followers, the Zodiacs and the Hunter Association, Krollo and the Phantom Troop, Morena and her Contagion game players.
Oh man.
I don't want to derail it. Oh my god, I'm like thinking of like the Krollos actually from Kakken Theory right now, and I'm like, holy crap, that would be another like crazy gameplay. Like Krollo is somehow actually like, I don't know, I'm getting out of control. Every major player is defined not just by their own strength, but by the people who choose to stand behind them. Togashi keeps giving us these incredible shots of a unified leader with a group marching behind them toward a shared purpose. There's something deeply primal about those images for me. Deeply primal is an apt. Honestly, we got a good vocabulary here. Your fans got good vocab.
We taught them everything.
They tap into an instinct that's been with humanity forever. Tribes, clans, religions, cults, and political movements, etc. Rallying behind a leader, finding identity, security, purpose, and most importantly, power in the collective. But don't forget the solo player in this game, Hisoka. True. Still curious to find out how he even got here. Loyalty can also be shown in different ways. A concept explored with Pakunoda in York New. That's probably a little bit more relevant to you guys because it's been so long since I've even thought about Pakunoda. Like,
oh man, really? Oh, we love Pakunoda.
It's been a minute since I've like gone back that far. Like, most of my focus has been so much on this.
Yeah, I get it.
Was it betrayal to go along with Kurapika's plan when it came to Pakunoda? What do you guys think about that?
Well, that's the question we're being posed right now in result to like loyalty.
Was it betrayal to poison Benjamin when it came to Furikov? And I think that's a good comparison. No, loyalty is defined by intentions, and what may seem like betrayal may actually be deep devotional loyalty under the surface. That's true words. I definitely feel that.
Very, very well said. I love this.
I really love this comment. And we give shit from time to time about just like how many like names and factions are involved in this arc, and it can get very overwhelming at times. But like when you're viewing it from this perspective, and that like this arc is kind of just about just like this whole thematic the thematic resonance of this arc being just like loyalty to like a specific purpose, a specific leader, and like what that means to the individuals like involved in it. Makes for like a really like beautiful way to kind of like tie this whole arc together in a theme to explore. And I never really thought about it that way, and this chapter really shines a light on that, I think, with how you're putting this. So it's a really, really fascinating perspective here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, to tie it all back to Pakunoda, I love that because there's always been, honestly, throughout every single arc, this concept of loyalty has been explored in some degree. Even Greed Island with the bombers, even though it wasn't done super well, it's still explored.
True.
Yeah, it was still explored there with the bomber. Yeah.
This commenter is doing a disservice by naming themselves after Finks. A very, very well thought out.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, very good comment. Really enjoyed that.
Yes. Is it me next?
Yep.
Okay. Next is from the GOAT, insert name, who says, condensed version. If it's
I gave
long,
you the condensed version.
Okay, we cut this one down.
There is a slightly longer version of this post on the YouTube community post if you want to check it out. There's some like small elaborations that were included in that one that he cut out here for our convenience. Thank you, insert name, for the consideration.
All right, he says, the way Togashi presents this sequence of events is just so satisfying. I adore the fact that the reveal uses the panel from when it was used and makes me wonder if the other scenes of Camilla and Zhonglei in the adjacent panels may have similar reveals. I'll have to go back and look. I didn't look today, but if there are other panels with that panel in the original chapter. That is interesting. We should probably look at this.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Benjamin's logic is pretty easy to follow, and even if that's a wild thing to say about what we just read, but sure. Even if we didn't have the knowledge to assume that the queen would have the authority to be able to get the toxin, the rest is stuff we could have conjectured. Furikov's analysis is also quite interesting and a complex read on the situation. I know some people think he's lying, but I believe him because I don't think information such as cursed children has reached the Hawkburger camp yet.
Hawkburger.
That's a new one. Though his Nen curse explanation does make me wonder how Knuckles' APR as a Nen curse would work with the rebound effect.
That's entering like territory.
I saw someone bring that up in my comment section too. It was crazy.
Really?
People are thinking about this, actually.
People are thinking about that. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's fascinating.
It's always cool to see Nen abilities named after other franchises. Yeah, he's been doing that a lot lately. After today, everyone with that stupid little square nose Togashi draws is instantly a suspect for Beyond's child. So far, all the curse candidates have one. Salkov, Longhi, Theta, and Furikov all have it. I think we are going to see a few cursed babies come from outside the guards going forward. Someone like Steiner, or the real crazy ones, someone like Mizaistom or Sayu, as people not part of the institution of Kakin, but drawn in by Beyond Dark Continent machinations would be a great fit.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
Sayu is actually possible.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's loyal.
I don't know if he's got that nose. We got to go back and look.
Yeah, I'd have to look. Hawk.
Togashi got everyone casually practicing eugenics is crazy.
Yeah. He actually kind of does have the nose, low-key. A little different. I'm looking at him. Anyhow, Hawk Iceberg Lettuce doesn't seem to be directly targeting Benjamin. Benjamin feels the build-up, and we see the arrow launch, but the idea that the arrow takes a full conversation with Furikov to travel feels improbable. Not to mention, no one is shown in room 1009 at the end of the chapter, and his followers were just part of a funeral procession away from the living quarters. Yeah, that was on tier 3, right? Wouldn't they be on tier 3?
Yeah, tier 2 maybe? I don't.
They dropped him to tier
2,
tier 3, because that's what it was 411. He said you can release them all from detainment so they can attend the procession in tier 2, I think, in the lower tiers.
So they're in tier 2, probably.
I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting.
He swapped with Crollo.
Oh,
No. Don't even let that enter. That's a joke.
The next
My
chapter,
theory-
it opens. My plan is working, and it's Crollo.
Yeah, that would be absurd. My theory is he might be trying out his ability on the king himself. Whoa.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Oh my god. Maybe. Dude.
That'd be huge.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that a lot.
I've been theorizing someone's going to be walking around with 2 Guardian Spirit Beasts at the same time for a while now. Like with Hulkenberg, like popping in, he's going to be able to be like, oh, I can actually use your Guardian Spirit Beast too, or some crazy thing like that. Like,
would that be how we find out what his Guardian Spirit Beast is? Like Nasubi's? Oh my god. There's potential there.
Ooh, I like this. I like this one. That's good. He was in the morgue, so Hawk probably knows where he is to target. It's the only target I could think of that may be considered experimental. I love it. I really like this one.
That's good.
This is good. Okay, so what is the ability of the Nen Beast that allows him to ascend to godhood? That's the question. Given it appears to perch and has robust legs for launching, I have to imagine it may launch itself at others. Hawkenborg's leadership creates a colony in which all its members are equal, sharing the risk and stronger together. Benjamin has an ability to draw on his subordinate's strengths and pull it to him. I think his ability to temporarily gain his strength or grant his strength and protection to others would be a good reflection of his dictatorial perspective. That Nen beast appears to naturally react to and alarm others of threats, like when it reacted to the curse on Fugetsu. What if by winning and dying, he's taking his flame of life and putting it in the Nen beast to guide the next ruler with it screeching when he would want an option to be carried out?
That's hysterical that like he doesn't even he can't speak anymore. It's just
I see.
He wants yeah, dude, Benjamin, good. You really surpassed the kings there, man.
He became a god. He did it.
He became a god.
Really interesting that they are killing all guards not associated with the Hunter Association and military. Have-nots are in trouble.
They are.
Ooh, oh, big trouble. Yeah, they're gonna get destroyed.
Didn't even think about that. Wow. Yeah. There really are so many factions to like even like keep track of. It's like, oh wow, those people are screwed. Like
yeah, right.
Unless Camilla does something, right now, maybe prevents some of it. I don't know. But
yeah,
I'm
so not
curious.
For Benjamin. What's going on with the have not for Benjamin? Yeah, where's she at?
The big boost for Camilla coming up. It has to be.
Finally. Give her something.
Yeah, it's been her about time. About time.
The fact that no one is shown in the 3rd, 11th, and 9th prince's rooms is really interesting.
True.
Yes.
Who's 11?
11
Fugetsu, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I feel like Kaiser probably would have been able to get him out, right?
Right. Well, do we know? Yeah, no, Fugetsu was allowed to go back to her room, right? Last time we saw her.
They said, I think we saw her they saw her talking about Fugetsu. They said she was resting last chapter, I think, right?
Right.
She was sleeping.
Yeah. That's her. Yep. That's exactly it. So she got evacuated somehow. It looks like.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Kaiser would help them with that in some way.
Yeah, and Kaiser is present in 410 also. He's there to witness Benjamin's declaration.
Yeah.
So I wonder, if he was able to.
Got the call, said, all right, go through this door, behind the bookshelf, and then like I'll come back. I gotta go, something like that. I don't know, but yeah. I think I would have figured that Fugetsu probably has a little bit more to do. I wouldn't expect her to be someone that goes out in this whole martial law shenanigan.
Benjamin himself isn't concerned about Fugetsu. He's like, round up all the princes except Hulkenberg and Fugetsu. So like, clearly he's not worried about her. Which makes it even more interesting, I guess, why she's not even in the room then. But I don't know. Weird.
That whole team is cooking something right now. We just don't know what. They got something going on.
All right. Yeah, really, good comment this week. Insert name. Thank you so much. And go check out his extended comment if you want to learn more about his elaborations on some of this. Next up, we have from Viral Uno. This chapter felt like it was blazing fast compared to the previous two. It was so well set up though, and I was able to keep up with everything going on. It felt like doing a high-risk activity after having undergone a lot of training. A rush of adrenaline, but being able to keep up with everything going on, like being in the zone. Before going on with this chapter, I have a small question that is sitting in the back of my mind regarding last chapter. Why did Obito's sister agree, or maybe she didn't, to swap the babies? This is putting her child in immense risk. I get that it's family, but it seems unlikely to me that she would risk her own child's life in this way. Maybe it's something to do with the culture of Kakin. Otherwise, I feel like this point could end up being a larger plot point. Is the male Wobble, not Wobble, I guess, Beyond's child? My main theory is still that Obito is his child, but this new info really spiced things up. Huh.
Interesting.
I didn't really consider
it's a big question as to why you would put your child in danger like that. I've seen a lot of people ask that, like, worst mom ever, but
yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like it's pretty in my opinion, it's easy to default to just cock and culture. I mean, she is a brand new queen. Like, that's also like, assuming that like she even really had a choice in the matter, right? You know.
For all we know, Rito could have like ordered it, basically. You know.
Yeah.
Like, what is she gonna say to that? But that is an interesting thought, though. Maybe there is something more to that.
She immediately became first-class citizen, so technically, you know, she would have that power.
Mm-hmm. Furikov is making plays out here. So many questions regarding him. While he knows about Beyond and the curses, he didn't seem to recognize Longhee as his sister. Is he unaware of the identities of any of the other children? He is also in the mindset of stopping Beyond's plan. How many of the other cursed children have the same goal? In what way do the weak and strong curses differ? How does Unma know about the curses and Beyond? What is their connection? Does that possibly mean Hulkenberg is Beyond's child? Which is why Unma went through the ordeal of giving him up to Dwazil? Is that why she favors him? What is the equipment Furikov would conjure for Benjamin/his spirit beast? Have we already seen examples of his equipment elsewhere? His power reminds me of both Rihan and Dogman's abilities. Could Dogman be a child of Beyond? What's his face like under that mask? So many more questions, all thanks to Furikov, but I'll post more in the comments. There's more. Oh my god.
I did not expect suspecting Dogman today, but honestly, I like it. It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Yeah, anything's possible with him. I mean, he wears a mask. I really didn't think it was for any particular reason, but
I mean, he has the most important role out of all the Haley, right? So
he does.
I do think it's interesting though, like how like it seems like if Unma, like whatever connection Unma has, like whether she ends up just being like maybe like, you know, just in on the plan, maybe she's a Beyond child, you know, and she's cursed herself. Like I'm curious, like if she is cursed herself, like what dignifies like who gets what information? Because like Longhee doesn't know what the activation conditions are. She doesn't even know who the other Beyond cursed childs are. Neither does Furikov apparently. But Unma does know the conditions supposedly, or at least enough to like hold them against Furikov. So it where Unma stands is like one of the biggest questions that I think this chapter opened up. We already knew that she was like, you know, working on her own mindset, but like now, like, is Hulkenberg the Beyond child, or is it a completely different reason? Like that doesn't even necessarily have to be why she wants him to help. You know, or she wants to help him, I'm sorry. But yeah.
But case in point, many questions to be asked now.
So many.
Yeah. Benjamin saying, "What a fool I was, not even trusting my own men," gave similar energy to Meruem saying, "I was unworthy of their loyalty, / they were too good for me." I'm sure y'all had a lot to say about him, so I'll keep the rest of my theories / questions about him for the comments section. Very similar, honestly. Yeah, it's a good call out there. Balsenberg was strapped to a chair. I'm assuming that is so that Balsamilka will be restrained once he takes over the body. With Hulkenberg firing the arrow again, will he switch a second time? Presumably so, if that's the way why they have him set up as such, right? He was explaining how his cover as Balsamilka was basically blown, so it seems like he intends to swap again. But it shouldn't be possible for him to choose who gets swapped. Has he found a way to assure he's the one swapped? That's an interesting point, yeah. Is it maybe the act of firing without having sight on the target? How is he firing at his brother, Sari, Benjamin? Could he mean Luzerus? Presumably without knowing his exact location. If he does know, how does he? Many more questions that will probably not get answered immediately.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's a good point though. Like he's very obviously intending to like have himself swap with something, given how he's setting up balls, or unless it's just like a precautionary thing. But yeah, I'm really curious to see the effects of that. Nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Kovan Toba shitting himself in Zhonglei's personal area? Did Kanjiro already kill someone in that room? Is Sakura about to have his face caved in by Bluesky? Now that last part I can definitely see.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was finally able to write in on time this week. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Faruno. Appreciate that.
Thanks for being here. We know the window is very small. We apologize for that, but
not an easy way to do it. Yeah.
All
You're up
right.
next.
This is from Terror of Talos. Hype moments and aura, but with substance. You love to see it. It's
Yeah, pretty
one of the
much.
truest things of all time, for sure.
And then finally from Stonebreaker IO, Furykov. It's not what you think. I killed you because I care about you. Benjamin. Of course, I was a fool for doubting you. That really sums it all up.
Beautifully so, I think. Exactly.
Listen, real loyalty right there.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. He was a fool.
I would want my homies to do the same thing.
Right. But yeah, that does it for community comments this week. Sorry for any comments that I didn't include or that we didn't include here on the episode. There was a lot of comments for this week, obviously, given the substance of the chapter, and it was a very long discussion, so had to cut out some, unfortunately. You can go check out the rest of the comments that maybe weren't featured here in the YouTube community posts, and you can maybe check the call-out posts on Twitter and Bluesky as well if there was any additional responses there. And as a reminder, if you want to get in on that fun, these community comments for these chapters as they release go up right as they release Sunday mornings around 10 a.m. Eastern time. Or no, 11 a.m. Eastern time. My bad. I got the times mixed up. So keep an eye out for the YouTube community post as well as the call-out post on Twitter and Bluesky, and you can submit your responses there every Sunday.
Absolutely. And with that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod for updates on the show and as an alternative way to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also listen to the show ad-free. Or, sorry, if you'd like to listen. This is a new part of the script. I apologize. If you'd like to listen to the show ad-free, be sure to check us out on Patreon. Those who join at the $5 tier will get their name read on the show at the end of every episode. So thank you to our one patron so far, Milu Kitty. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, Mila Kitty, for all the support.
Yes, thank you. As always, we're at the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. NoOperator, thank you so much for coming on. It was a great discussion. Where can people find you online?
Thank you guys so much for having me as always. My main channel is NoOperator, but if you're just interested in the Hunter x Hunter stuff, you can find all of my Hunter x Hunter stuff content on No More Operator. Because some of these chapters, they are so long, I have to break the reviews up into parts because they're just, it's insane. So, yeah. That's where you can find all of my Hunter x Hunter stuff. But don't even worry about me because just make sure you just keep supporting these guys as much as you possibly can.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very sweet.
Thank you.
All right, and Dylan, how about you?
You can find me online at DJ Tengen. That's DJTENGEN on both Twitter and Bluesky. Mostly on Twitter, admittedly, but it is what it is. Go give me a follow if you're interested in what I'm up to there.
And of course, you can find me on Bluesky and YouTube at Manga Kaige. Just recently hit 4,000 subscribers. Thank you guys.
Woo-hoo.
Much appreciated.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Do you still have your supervillain set up?
That's right. Yeah, I do. It hasn't changed.
Supervillain setup.
That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, I love this. The way he put this and the way he perspected the camera, I'm like, never change it. That's so great. You look like you're a supervillain setting out your broadcast.
I think in that video, it was just the way I had my hands on the chair. I never thought about it until you said that. All right, so for the show, guys, next week we are talking about chapter 414, and we will be joined by the beloved guest, Suck War Central. God said, "Let there be suck, and suck there shall be." Get ready. I don't why did I even say that?
that was kind of crazy from you, but I respect it.
It just felt right. All right. That'll be out much later, and actually, it'll more than likely. Oops, I just moved the schedule. That'll actually more than likely be out on Monday because we're recording it very late to accommodate the Australian time zone for recording.
Ooh,
so
boy.
just-
Yeah.
yeah, it's a tough one.
By nature of that, though, I believe the call-out posts will also be up for a longer amount of time for next Sunday, too. So for everyone who's been scrambling to get their responses in on time, you'll have a much longer period of that day to put in the comments. That'll be more work on me to actually filter through the comments we include, but feel free, go crazy.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot, probably.
Yeah.
But unless it's a really boring chapter, you never know.
Doubtful, but,
Hey, you
could
never
happen.
know. Watch out. All right, that's all I got for this week. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and we will see you guys next week. Take it easy, guys.
Okay, everybody.